Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. We in here. I can hear myself. I had to pull this shit up on my phone real quick, y'all. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling myself right now because I just had kind of a moment where I just remembered. Let me see this. Let me see this. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. See if we do that. See if we do that. We put my name up there. Put my name up there. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Ooh. Where am I set? Like, where's my name at? How do I do my name? I want to change my name. I just want to change. There we go. Uh, J Bud Bundy. I just remember my middle name is Nairi, which means y'all could officially call me J Nye. The science guy. Oh, yeah. J Bud Bundy / J Nye, the science guy. My name is Jason Nairi Bundy. That's JOSJSON Nairi NYERERE Bundy BUNDY. J Nye. Jason Nairi Bundy. J Nye, the science guy. Yes. Yes, that's who you're dealing with today. That's who you're dealing with today. And you know you're supposed to call that nigga Bud Bundy. See, a lot of y'all sitting around here, y'all don't know, y'all acting like y'all don't understand who I'm talking, y'all don't understand what I'm talking about. You acting like you don't understand what I'm talking about. Okay? Boom. Do you know who that is? Do you know who that is? Do you know who that is? Right, that's Bill Nye, the science guy. You seeing the connection there? That's Bill Nye, the science guy, because his first name is Bill, his last name is Nye. My name is Jay Nairi. Jay Nye, the science guy. You getting that? You get it? You got it? You got it? Good. You good. You good. You got it. You understand. Okay. Then did you not know who this person is? Do you not know who this person is? This handsome white devil here? Do you not know who that is? See, y'all ain't watch Married with Children coming up. Y'all ain't watch Married with Children coming up. Y'all know who that is? That's Bud Bundy. Bud Bundy. What's my name? Jay Bundy. You already know. Jay, not a science guy. What's my last name? Bundy. What's my dad's name? Al Bundy. What does that make me? Al Bundy's son. What are you supposed to call Al Bundy's son? Bud Bundy. So I am officially J Bud Bundy. Al Bundy's son. I'm the real life Bud Bundy. Because I be smoking trees like that. But see, now y'all understand the double entendre. Now you understand why that nigga call himself J Nye the science guy. And you understand why that nigga call himself Bud Bundy. And you know the Bud Bundy is a weed joke. You know the Bud Bundy is a weed joke. But that nigga really could say he's the real life Bud Bundy. Not because he just smoke weed like that. He do smoke weed like that. But that nigga's really Al Bundy's son. That nigga's Al Bundy's son in real life. That white boy wasn't really Al Bundy's son. His name is David Faustino. His name is David Faustino. Yeah, my dad's real legal name is Al Bundy. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. Y'all ain't that slow. Not all of y'all are AJ. I know AJ still ain't got it figured out. AJ still trying to figure out the elemental piece. He's trying to figure out the alphabet and shit. The rest of y'all got it under control. Let's link up with the gang and enjoy our community gathering song, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being a friend. Traveling down the road and back again.
Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. Speaking of pals and confidants, say hi, let everybody know you're here. Then you hit them with the gang to let them know you're here, but you're not just here. You're here to link up with the gang. Then you hit them with the cheers, let them know you about to tip it on back. And then finally, you let them know the whiskey into the glass.
Thank you for being a friend.
Ba, 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 ba.
If it's a car you like, I'll surely buy you a Cadillac. Anything you need, any time of the day or night. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always stays this way. My hat is off.
I take my hat off,
Won't you
though.
stand up and take a bow?
I got my crown on, baby.
Oh,
When we both get older,
yeah.
we're walking six and hair of gray.
Oh,
Have no fear, even though it's hard to hear. I will
stand up close and say thank you for being a friend.
thank you.
Thank you for being a friend.
I wanna thank you.
Oh, thank you for being
I
a
wanna
friend. Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you.
I wanna tell you about a
I wanna
friend.
thank you.
Thank you for being a
I wanna thank you.
Thank you for being a
I wanna
friend. Thank you for being a friend.
Break it down.
And when we die and float away into the stars, the Milky Way.
You hear me call as we ascend. I'll say your name, then once again, thank you for being us. Thank you for being my friend.
Thank you,
Thank you for being a friend.
thank you,
Listen to me.
being
I wanna thank you for being. Thank you.
being a
Thank you for
friend.
being a friend. I wanna thank you for being a friend.
I wanna thank you.
For being a friend.
Everybody that's been a supporter of Team Nancy.
Thank you for being a friend.
Everybody that's trying to shut down Nano CON.
Help me out now.
Thank you right now.
I wanna thank you right
Everybody that's exposing the grip.
Tell you
Gonna tell you my pal. But
I want to thank all y'all for your support.
Thank you. Thank you. What you gonna say?
We ain't got a lot of friends out here, but we want to thank the real ones.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that one. You gotta know when you got the good take. Gots to know when you got the good take. Speaking of good takes, this is a new one. Little instrumental, little something to remind you of them TGI Fridays. I don't know, they call this shit Winslow. Made me think of the Winslows from Family Matters. Ooh, I want to see what drums those are. Who made that kit? It sounds great. It looks amazing. Yeah, the keyboard current is fucking loaded. All the classics too. Yes, sir. I want that's how I want my keyboard corner to look for real. I don't even play keys like that, but that's how I want my keyboard corner to look. Y'all don't even know I ain't playing. I'll be telling people I got 3-4 keyboards. I'm trying to get about 4 or 5 more. But my next purchase is a motherfucking SP404 as soon as that shit is back in stock. SP404 professor in the house. These niggas tripping. What y'all doing right now? Y'all doing too much. What you talking about? We ain't doing nothing. We ain't even playing. Yeah, I know. I ain't even playing. Y'all messing around, but you're doing too much. Nigga, I grew up in the band room. Nigga, I know how to go down in the band room. I know when niggas is showing off but trying to act like they ain't doing nothing. You trying to act like you ain't doing nothing, but you're doing too much. You're doing the most. I know how this shit goes. I've been in them rooms. You can fool the audience, but you can't fool me. And now they're gonna come back into some other crazy shit. Nah, it's gonna fade out. All that extra shit. Just fading out. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, let's get this fucking party started. There ain't no time for this. This song needs no goddamn introduction. All I'm gonna say is you're supposed to be smoking trees. It's the goddamn treehouse. You already know the line. You're supposed to be smoking trees. It's the treehouse. Like you're supposed to be high, cause it's the highway.
Something about me, living in a treetop town, out of the city. Never mind the preachers who get up in that game. I've been thinking lately that it's only in the name of driving the fastest car,
Being the biggest no one.
buying a fancy home, enjoying it all.
don't even want to move on. So good. Why can't we just stay in the treehouse? Why do we have to talk about Nano CON? I don't want to talk about Nano CON. I just want to have fun in the treehouse. I just want to play music in the treehouse. I just want to drink in the treehouse. I just want to hang out with my friends in the treehouse. I just want to smoke trees in the treehouse. I just want to play video games in the treehouse. Maybe we can play some instruments in the treehouse. Why do we have to talk about Nano CON? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I want it to go away. Why is there a Nano CON? Why? It's ruining my treehouse fun. We just want to hear the whistle. Can we just get whistle solos? Can we get like a few hours of whistle solos, maybe? Some whistle funk solos. Some sweet ass jazz guitar. Some pretty girls singing, playing on the Fender Rhodes. Can we just do that for a few hours? Why do we have to talk about Nano CON? I don't want to.
I thought it was pretty good.
I don't want to start this show. No, not you. Y'all not supposed to be. You're next. No, we don't even gonna play. You know what? Maybe we should play you next. We'll play you next. I don't even want to start this show. I don't even want to talk about that. We're gonna do Treehouse again. Then fuck it. We're gonna do the Hanson song after this shit too. I'm just procrastinating. I'm gonna just be real. As an educator, you gotta be honest. And sometimes you gotta tell your students, look, I'm procrastinating. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay? You should be doing something productive with your time. But I'm procrastinating. I'm delaying the inevitable. I'm kicking the can down the road. I don't want to talk about Yes, I would so much rather come up to your treehouse. You have no idea. Yeah. When you need an escape from Nano CON. Yeah, you can go into the treehouse and we can just pretend they canceled Nano CON and that Elliot didn't really throw Nancy down the stairs. You know, that was just like it was a bad dream. You know, Elliot throwing Nancy down the stairs was a bad dream. Turns out there's no such thing as Nano CON. Nano CON doesn't even exist. You've just been hallucinating for 6 months. Just come out of the treehouse. It's all good. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about Nano CON. It's not even a real thing. That shit fucked, bro. Get it. When it's time to get real right up in my treehouse. Yeah. Come on up to my treehouse. Yeah. When you need an escape, the sweetest dreams it'll make come true. Everybody's got their priorities. GPS to where they think they wanna be. With every mile Yeah, I think we're gonna have to retire this song. I think we're gonna have to retire this song when school starts. Yeah. I think when school starts, we have to retire this song. And it has to stay retired through the fall. It has to stay retired through the winter. And then I think it even has to stay retired through the spring. We gotta get this feel good shit to the summer. This shit just feels like summer. And we can't contaminate it by playing it during the fall, the winter, or the spring. We have to keep this shit exclusively for summer enjoyment. Yeah, you gotta keep that one, and you gotta listen to it during special times. You can't just be listening to TV. Listen to this shit year round. You see what I'm saying? We listen to this shit year round. But Treehouse, we can't be listening to Treehouse year round. Treehouse is gonna have to be a summer exclusive. I'm just letting you know right now.
You have so many relationships in this life, only one or two will last. You're going through all the pain and strife, turn your back and they're gone so fast.
You know, anytime she get up and sing this song, the motherfucking congregation goes crazy.
So fast.
We got scary pockets during the worship this morning. Y'all know the people love this motherfucking song. The people love this motherfucking singer. The people are feeling good right now. Let's go.
So hold on to the ones who really care, 'cause in the end they'll be the only ones there. When you get old, start losing your hair. Can you tell me who will still care? Can you tell me who will still care? Oh yeah. Ooh, ba, do it up, ba, do ba, do it up, ba, do ba, do it up, ba, do. Oh yeah. Ooh, ba, do it up, ba, do ba, do it up.
I still haven't figured out exactly what any of this actually means, to be honest. I can officially say I think I've been listening to this song for like 30 years now. I think I've been bopping for 30 years and I still have no idea what the fucking bop is, what a bop does. I mean, I know you gotta do it. I mean, bop is definitely necessary. I just can't tell you what the fuck it is. It's very important. That much I know. It's a secret no one knows. Yeah, it's a secret no one knows. Not my fault. Nobody knows. No one knows. See, it feels too good to not be necessary, so we know it's essential because of the way it feels. I don't know, maybe after they solve cancer and AIDS and shit, some scientists will figure out what the fucking bop is.
Can you tell me? Oh, say you can, but you don't know.
Yeah, can you tell me?
Tell me. Oh yeah.
You say you can, but you don't know.
Can you tell me? Oh no. Say you can, but you don't know. Can you tell me? Oh, say you can, but you don't know. Say you can, but you don't know. You don't know. Don't know. Can you tell me? Say you can, but you don't know. Can you tell me? Oh, say you can, but you don't know. Say you can, but you don't know. Oh yeah, say you can, but you don't know.
Ooh, all right. We got a couple more for you. Virtual insanity is what we have.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Music loud and women warm. Been kicked around since I was born. And nothing's gonna change the way we live. 'Cause we can always take but never give. And now that things are changing for the worse, see. Oh, life's going nowhere. Somebody help me. Somebody help me, yeah. Futures made of virtual insanity now.
of a new technology. Oh, now there is no sound, but we all live underground.
Well, now I get low and I get high, and if I can't get either, I really try. Got the wings of heaven on my shoes. I'm a dancing man, and I just can't lose. And nothing's gonna change the way we live, 'cause we can always take but never give. And now that things are changing for the worse, see, oh, life's going nowhere. Somebody help me. Somebody help me, yeah. Futures made of virtual insanity now always seem to be governed by this love we have for useless twisting of a new technology. Oh, now there is no sound,
So we all live underground.
life's going nowhere. Somebody help me. Somebody help me, yeah. Oh, life's going nowhere. Somebody help me. Somebody help me, yeah. Futures made of virtual insanity now always seem to be governed by this love we have for useless twisting of a new technology. Oh, now there is no sound, but we all live underground. Oh, futures made of virtual insanity now always seem to be governed by this love we have for useless twisting of a new technology. Oh, now there is no sound, but we all live underground, live underground, live underground.
So good. Whew, all right, ready or not? Here we go.
There is too much space, craving up embrace. Why don't you just pick up the phone? Ain't it crystal clear that I need you right near? I can make it here alone. Hey, you look like I do about the history to see you. It's been a mystery, and if you're missing me tonight, when I'm meant to be, then it is time for me to move on. Gotta grab, get some control of the beat, the feeling is right, so right.
God, they're so good. Yo, I gotta see these guys live. You gotta figure they tour. They gotta come to New York. Come on now, don't they? I know they, actually I'm lying. I know they play MSG with the Fearless Flyers. Yo, let them niggas come back. Let them niggas come back to New York. I promise you, y'all gonna see me go live on the show. I promise you. I might have to bring a date to that shit. Hey, y'all know I ain't calling no woman. I might have to call cuz or my dad. Tell him I need a date, cuz. Dad, I need somebody to come to this show with me. Oh my God, it's so good. Oh my God, why do we have to do this? I don't want to. Gotta start this fucked up ass show. 38 days until Nano CON. Don't worry, we're not gonna talk much about white boys McMoney bags other than to say they all got that motherfucking plantation mentality. They all got that coercive conspiratorial silence. White boys McMoney bags. And these flying monkeys, y'all, they like Pokemon. You understand what I'm saying to you? Y'all think it's a game, you know what I'm saying? You out here doing this community safety shit we gotta do, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have your fucking Pokeballs and shit. You know what I'm saying? You never know when a new Pokemon just gonna pop out on you or something, you know what I'm saying? You don't know, you gotta catch them all, you know what I'm saying? Ain't a game around here. We got the kit, we got the fucking equipment, we had to get fucking certified and how to catch them all and shit, you know what I mean? I had to go through the motherfucking flying monkey Pokemon training course and shit. You know what I'm saying? They had us doing the fucking the augmented reality and shit where we was running around our little neighborhoods and you know, they be showing there's a flying monkey in your park, you know what I'm saying? And you get on your bike and you ride to your park, you know what I'm saying, and try to catch him, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh shit, there's one down by the fucking liquor store, you know what I'm saying? And you fucking go over there and fucking catch a Pokemon. Yeah, y'all remember that shit when the Flying Monkey Go? Yeah, we was doing the Flying Monkey Go shit. Remember that Pokemon Go shit? He was going all over the augmented reality. That's how we had to do in the fucking training for this flying monkeys, man. These motherfuckers is everywhere. Got to catch them all, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. You got the Oz's of the world and your Dr. Daryl Ray and who's this? Justin from Deconstruction Zone and Drew Beckius and Kip Davis and Gnostic Informant. Oh, we should have thrown Digital Gnosis up there. Where's Nate? What about Digital Gnosis? Should have thrown Digital Gnosis ass there. I ain't heard from his ass in a minute. Where the fuck is Jefferson Spatchcock? You know what I'm saying? Where the fuck is Jefferson Spatchcock? You know what I'm saying? Richard Carrier, Elliot the Tennessee Strangler, Martin's best friend, Dr. Ben, Godfather, engineer, Elliot the Tennessee Strangler, Martin himself, Jimmy Snow. Oh, you know Jimmy Snow. Jimmy Snow hit RFR with the 6-figure payoff. Jimmy Snow hit RFR with the 6-figure payoff. Did y'all hear what I just said? I said Jimmy Snow just hit Recovering from Religion, the organization that platformed Elliot the Tennessee Strangler Martin on the atheist community of Austin. and let him sit up there and talk about being a secular leader, and you should take his secular leadership classes and what a great community builder he is. And while he's calling himself the secular Jesus Christ, almost a full year knowing damn well what he did to that woman, because we know Patti sent him an email about it. We know he responded to her. She's documented. I've shared the email publicly, and she's made a video about it. And Jimmy Snow made sure the line hit RFR with the 6-figure payoff. Now, they claim it's an annual fundraiser. Go back and see how long they've been doing it. But don't you think this would have been a good year to not do it? And wouldn't it be fucking weird if y'all hadn't been doing it previously? And it's a little weird that you didn't think that this was enough, because I know y'all know what happened, because remember they talked about it on New Year's Eve and called it a drama, and then they went back and edited that out. On New Year's Eve, Matt Dillahunty, while Jimmy Snow and a whole bunch of other of the line superstars were all on a big panel together, called it a drama and laughed at it and dismissed it. And then they went back and edited that out. So don't sit there and play like they don't know what happened. And then they made sure RFR got a 6-figure payoff, and you're still a fan and supporter of the line. You're still a fan and supporter of the line for some reason, and I'm really trying to figure it out. Genetically modified skeptic, Drew, you's a bitch ass nigga. Drew, it's been almost a year, my nigga. I know you know about this fucking story. Don't fucking play with me. I'm a grown ass man, Drew. I know everybody in this community will give you the benefit of the doubt. Dr. Bundy's not one of them fucking naive losers. I know you know exactly what happened, Drew, from Genetically Modified Skeptic, and I said it in English words I hope you understand. You's a bitch-ass nigga. Did you hear what I said, white boy? You's a bitch-ass nigga. Here he is almost a year later, and you ain't had shit to say about NanoCon. Fuck you and everything you stand for. Holy Kool-Aid, bitch ass nigga, fuck you and everything you stand for. What's this nigga's name? Alex. I can't even think of this nigga's name. Alex O'Connor, bitch ass nigga, fuck you and everything you stand for. The Skeptic, bitch ass nigga, fuck you and everything you stand for. Brandon from Mindshift, bitch ass nigga, fuck you and everything you stand for. Josh Bowen, fuck you and everything you stand for, bitch ass nigga. Elliot Cantor, don't even get me started on Mr. King of the Cover Up. Mr. I've done dozens and dozens of these internal investigations. Get the fuck out of here. Dozens? Multiple dozens? He didn't say a dozen, he said dozens. Seth Andrews, all up in the line, licking the line booty hole, platforming and doing collabs with small ass flying monkeys that somebody your size ain't never got no business even knowing they exist. Bitch ass nigga. Professor Dave, bitch ass nigga. Hemet Method, a friendly atheist, bitch ass nigga. Derek from Myth Vision, bitch ass nigga. What's his face? I don't even remember that nigga's name. The motherfucker that's in the wheelchair because he dying or whatever. They said I went after that man and was talking about that name me being played with in the streets. I never disrespected that man like that. Y'all told me that y'all, first of all, NanoCon used his talk about self-accountability to promote NanoCon, right? NanoCon used that man's fucking talk at last year's NanoCon to promote this year's NanoCon. So I'm calling that shit out, because if you're going to use him to promote NanoCon, then apparently it's okay for him to be in the fucking NanoCon business. So don't put his ass on your fucking webpage to promote your bullshit and then say, I'm coming after him for no reason. No, y'all are the ones using him. If the nigga too fragile to be mentioned publicly on YouTube, then he shouldn't be on your page then, right? Because if I'm coming after a dying man and you're grifting off a dying man, right? If I'm coming after a dying man and you're using a dying man to help your cover up fucking organization profit off that goddamn cover up, are you not? So I'll leave him out of this when you leave him out of this. Until then, he's a bitch ass nigga for allowing y'all to use him to promote this unsafe fucking organization and event, and not having the audacity to come out and say, nah, I see what the fuck is going on. And if the nigga don't know us, I don't believe that. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Y'all can say what y'all want to. I just don't believe it. And if it's such a problem, if me calling them out is such a fucking problem, take them off your goddamn website. Take him off your fucking website. As long as I don't even think he's on, not the website, the YouTube. They use his talk on the YouTube page. And motherfuckers told me, I wasn't there. Motherfuckers told me his talk made people very uncomfortable because he was, the synopsis I heard was he was basically going on about his guilt over cheating on his spouse. Again, what type of freaky deaky weirdo shit are y'all doing at NanoCon? And why are y'all always talking about the weirdest fucking shit? And that shit made people uncomfortable. So don't sit up in here and act like Jay Bundy being a fucking problem. First off, number one, what the fuck type of weirdo shit is going on at NanoCon that motherfuckers is giving conference speeches about cheating on their spouses? But okay, cool. If you're gonna give a talk and that's part of a talk about self-accountability, and then it's being used to promote the organization that literally demonstrated no self-accountability, did not call the police, had an internal investigation. The internal investigation didn't go nowhere. Continued to platform Elliot. There was doxing, harassing, and stalking of all of the whistleblowers and people. Get the fuck out of my face. And then you all think it's okay for NanoCon to promote themselves using a talk about self-accountability. No, if they can use that dying man's body to virtue signal with their duplicity as they cover up sex crimes, yeah, I could call his ass out for being part of it. It is what it is. Derek from Myth Vision, bitch ass nigga. Rationality Rules, bitch ass nigga. Aaron Rob, bitch ass nigga. It's been a year. None of these men should have any subscribers. They should all delete their channels because every single one of these men has claimed to be a part of this community. Every single one of these men has been promoted and platformed and grown and gotten to the point for most of them where they could do this for a living or make money of it or continue to maintain proximity and access to power. So the ones who haven't made it yet are on their way to making it. All off branding about community. And when the most violent thing to ever happen in this community happens and the evidence is all over YouTube right in front of their face, in that same community, they've been silent for a year. And y'all bitch ass niggas is gonna act like that's okay. You're gonna act like the ones who haven't said anything about NanoCon, they're good to go. Like it's perfectly legit for them to just keep making their counter-apologetic content, continue to grift, continue to profit off this community, and not address the elephant in the room. And you're going to continue to like their shit, watch their shit, subscribe to their shit, send them super chats, and buy tickets to fucking NanoCon. And for that, you are a disgusting person too. You are no better than any of these people. You viewers are the fucking monsters that make this shit possible. It's you. Not the people watching this channel. A lot of people watch this channel, but send this shit to the motherfuckers who y'all know need to hear this shit. Y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the people in my audience because my audience ain't that big. The few people that ride hardcore with me ain't on that type of timing. They already know what type of timing we are on over here. That's why they're here. But the rest of y'all, it's the fucking people. It's the disgusting people that watch the shit, send the super chats, subscribe to the shit, like the videos, get in the live chat, get in the comment section, buy the fucking tickets, save up so they can travel, and then call this shit a community, and then be so addicted to it that they're willing to erase a woman's fucking tragic story. They're willing to erase that woman's life. Erase her reality because it's inconvenient to the bottom line and it's inconvenient to the parasocial, toxic, quote unquote community. And you allow these fucking fraud ass white boys to pretend to be fucking leaders. You allow these unqualified, amateur, fraud ass white boys to pretend to be fucking leaders and experts. And they are amateurs and fucking cowards. This fucking community disgusts me. None of y'all deserve the Apostate Sisters. Let's start this fucked up ass show.
Ready for takeoff?
Whoa. Working hard on my stunt, what's the problem? I ain't had shit to show, being modest. Now it's grams of the wax for my conscience. Brown James in LA, you're on college. I I've been jumping on them planes like a hobby. Still moving with the pack like my partners. Put the John on them jets cause we wildin'. But the bowl is a party on the island, moment of silence. So good, get back to the topic. Grew up, it was me and Flocka. Grandma's and Big T, this my mama. I ain't even for the pain when my pots flip. Knew his name, that's it, never bothered. Mom said, you the man, son, you got this. Ever since I found a way to go and pop shit. Hold up, blaze through a whole zip. Took a seat at the table of my first flip. Days in red roof for my first whip. Split the money with the gang, never post pics. Seen a change in the game, had to coach it. Never let them take my wangs in the mold, bitch. Ever made in a month, nigga. Used to serve him at the minute just to front, nigga. Goddamn. Had to grow up quick, I made my own rules. Had my first child, got it jumping with music. Can't really hang with nobody who losing. I thought by now that you would go and get it, but I could hardly see niggas this distant. Know you get cropped if you not in the picture. And I made that tag and went got a bag. Shots to the Henny and OG prescriptions, put rebel shit on the map. Took a leap from where I started at. Started ballin', now I'm Chris Paul and Cass. Got him steady calling for the mold, but I'm on a roll, gotta call him back. And that's all fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. All carry-on items should now be stowed securely, either in an overhead bin or under the seat in front of you. All aisles, exits, and bulkhead areas should now be clear. All electronic devices should now be turned off and stowed, as they may interfere with the aircraft's navigational and communication systems. Once airborne, we'll let you know when you may use approved electronic devices, but note that some items may not be used at any time during the flight. You'll find a list of approved devices in the in-flight information section.
All right. I want to go to this one. All right. Please do not forget that we sincerely need your help. Please remember to document anything you see related to this NanoCon bullshit. Remember to take screenshots. If you see a video that is relevant either to, the assault at NanoCon itself or the sort of smear campaign, the harassing, doxing, stalking, and coercion of, whistleblowers and the support system, anything related to that type of stuff, right? Make sure you're documenting it. Make sure you're taking a screenshot. Make sure that screenshot provides as much context as possible. Make sure you are taking note about what platform it's recorded on, when it's recorded, and why you think it's relevant. You can find links to our Discord down in the description, and you can, there's a channel dedicated to NanoCon. There's a bunch of channels. There's channels dedicated to this NanoCon stuff, and you can document things there. Also, if somebody does a video or a stream, remember to save it. Right? There's plenty of resources you can use online to help you download videos and live streams that people do. So remember to archive as much as you guys can. These people are going down. What happened to Nancy cannot be erased. Nancy cannot be deleted. Nancy's story is here. It will always be with us. As an anthropologist, I'm just so fucking grateful to that woman and so overwhelmed and impressed with her intelligence and her courage. As an anthropologist, I can tell you that when it comes to studying culture, right, a big thing that anthropologists put a lot of emphasis on is material remains, right, artifacts. What are the physical things that really serve to speak to our history, right? And we're not looking for words and stories and accounts, right? We're looking for things we can see, touch, and really engage with, okay? And so we have that here in spades. We have this victim's 10-page notarized statement. We have all of these live streams on my channel, on PC's channel. I do need to update my playlist because there's a bunch of stuff I've done recently, and I haven't been on top of the playlist because I've been trying to just relax and kind of switch up my rhythm for a little bit till I get back to work. But you know, that will all be documented. But most importantly, like I said, we have Nancy's 10-page notarized statement. We have all the counter notarized statements. We have all the screenshots of the smear campaigns. We have the emails. We have the documentation of us being doxxed and harassed and stalked and people trying to get us fired and interfering with our relationships and our social lives. And we have all of that. There's overwhelming evidence. And so these people have done a great job of keeping this white supremacist, patriarchal, capitalistic, grifting, toxic ass cult of online atheism and quote unquote secular humanism silent about Nancy and silent about NanoCon and silent about the failure of this fucking community. But the world is so much bigger than these fucking YouTube losers. They are nobody. They are nobody. They are fucking nobody. None of them. The only person out of that whole group that has any shot at relevance in the real world would honestly be somebody like Professor Dave. I have sincerely, in my job as a university educator, come across students in my science class who know Professor Dave's work and are big fans of him. They won't be once Dr. Bundy teaches them about the NanoCon incident and how a year later Professor Davis had nothing to say about NanoCon. Yeah, they won't be big fans of his anymore. But I can tell you some of them were. Not many, but once in a while you find a secular student who's, you know, a good science student and is into the content and will be familiar with Professor Dave. That's it. They don't give a fuck about none of them PhDs, none of the books, none of the debates. None of these men matter in the real world. But women like Nancy do. Nancy's beautiful, sharp, educated, strong, tremendous personality. And really the only real problem with somebody like Nancy is she was far too sweet, far too kind, far too trusting, far too nurturing and concerned with other people. You know, she was too good for her own good, to be quite honest. But that's her only. That's the only downside of Nancy, is that she was too good for her own good. And like me and many other talented people, totally willing to waste our talents away in this backwards ass community that has done everything to let us know how truly unwelcome we really are. But we stayed because we were making a difference. We stayed because we made friends. We stayed because we found some healing. We stayed because we found some community. We stayed because the people we did connect with received our content and valued it, and it helped them, and they let us know, and that meant a lot to us. And all of that was more important than the numbers. All of that was more important than being popular, being monetized, making money, turning a YouTube hobby into a career or profession. None of that mattered to people like us who got to see the difference we could really make in people's lives. But God damn it, we've been wasting our fucking time in this small ass, backwards swamp town of YouTube. And it's time for us to leave this place. Take our time, our talents, and our resources to the big city and trust that even though they tend to say in a place like New York City, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. This may be a small backwater, backwoods, decrepit ass corner of YouTube that nobody gives a fuck about. But there are a lot of real people here. And so if you've made content and you've been about something during your time here, then you did learn that you can have an impact on people and you can make a difference in people's lives and you can be about something and people will recognize that something. They'll subscribe to it. They'll ride with you and they'll stay with you throughout your journey. So I will tell you the same thing. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Once you know you can make a difference at a small school, you know a big school is just more opportunity to make that difference for more students. So let's take our talents to the big city and see what we really got. We're really just here to wrap up this NanoCon season because Nancy deserves this full frontal attack on NanoCon the year after she was assaulted. For those of us who know Nancy and understand who she is and what she's really about, and those of us who just also participated in this community because they were here for something great, here for something bigger, here for the people, here to connect, here to help. And they also know that the right thing to do in this situation is to carry on for that victim and to see this through. So that's what we intend to do. And then we intend to move on. But even after we move on, we're not going to let the NanoCon thing go. We will continue. If they're going to have NanoCon every year, we can protest NanoCon every year. If they're going to continue to spin off and try to set each other up to have different events and different conferences and different organizations, we can continue to protest and try to shut down those organizations. Even as we move on to bigger spaces where we can grow and actually attract a bigger audience that is capable of helping, and then point that back here to help leverage that community to remind this one that it's not safe. Don't be stupid enough to think that people like me and some of the other people y'all know have been down with us throughout this process are not the type of spiteful motherfuckers to maintain lifetime rivalries and grudges. Yeah, see, when you were a Christian, you learned that Jesus can forgive anything. Dr. J. Bundy is not Jesus. And quite frankly, I'm a petty motherfucker. I'm a petty motherfucker. There's a reason I love that Michael Jordan. He takes everything personally. He wakes up in the morning looking for motivation just to fuck up another person's career. I love that energy. There's a side to me that just straight up just says, okay, you want to get toxic? Let's dance. Let's fucking dance. Because I have a personality and a character that was forged in a fire you would not have survived a day inside of. You would not have survived a day inside my life in 6th grade. So as a man who's about to turn 40, you ain't ready to step into the cage with that dog. You're just not ready to step in the cage with that dog. Because that dog has been fighting the power, fighting the man, fighting the world, fighting the entire institution with barely a handful of people to call a support system his entire fucking life. You ain't the latest and you ain't the greatest. Y'all are gonna be held accountable for your role in this or your silence about this. You don't run shit in the real world. You are not popular in the real world. You don't have influence in the real world. Nobody knows your name in the real world. You're not powerful. You're not influential. Nobody gives a fuck about any of you. You're nobody. None of you have real expertise. The only ones among you that even have expertise and PhDs and shit, it's in useless shit. That's why they're fucking independent scholars on YouTube. Because nobody hires people with their quote unquote expertise. Because nobody gives a fuck about the fairy tale magic that they became fucking experts in. Nobody gives a fuck. That's why your scholars can't get fucking hired. That's why they're so desperate to be on YouTube. And why every once in a while, y'all don't see my ass for like most of the week. Why is that? Because my black ass is teaching, doing faculty shit. And when that shit get busy, I'll be like, yeah, I'll catch y'all on Sunday for hot program. Or y'all see me switch up. Y'all see my content get short, or I'll pop in once in a while and I'll be doing like an hour or two and I'm out, right? This nigga, I gotta get up and go to work the next day. These bitch niggas is on YouTube 24/7. Why? Because universities won't hire them. Stop playing. Y'all ain't gonna play me. You could play the audience. Y'all can't play me. Ain't nobody hiring y'all asses. Except for some private ass religious schools and y'all secular and y'all do nothing but bash religion all day online. So they don't really want to fuck with you either now, do they? That's why your ass is trying to make Myth Vision Academy some real shit, because y'all can't get the guap with the real universities and colleges. Keep it a buck. That's what it really is. And then the rest of y'all are just a bunch of fucking amateur ass white boys who don't even have useless credentials to speak of. At least they got credentials. The credentials are fucking worthless, but they got some fucking credentials. The rest of y'all ain't got shit. Just a white boy on YouTube talking about nothing that got popular on YouTube, talking to a bunch of other fucking useless white boys about nothing. Popular because y'all love the way each other talk about nothing. And now you've mistaken your popularity amongst your fucking fart sniffing old boys club for power in the real world. And now y'all think y'all have the power to erase what happened to this woman and erase what happened to that woman's support system and erase what happened to the whistleblowers. Meanwhile, you're going to build yourselves a fucking castle on the hill, telling everybody about your moral superiority, your skepticism, and your humanism. Y'all gonna learn the only way white boys ever learn. Y'all are gonna learn the only way white boys ever learn. Y'all are gonna learn the only way white boys ever fucking learn. The hard way. Because y'all don't learn too good. Because y'all really, really don't learn too good.
Are you looking forward to the celebration at the White House?
As a matter of fact, thank you for asking me that. We just did receive an invitation
You did?
From the White House, which we accepted. We still have to figure out the details, et cetera. But, yes, of course. I mean, look, I invited the president to come down for the game. Right, he is a friend. I've known him for 30 years, and I'm very proud to bring the team to the White House.
Yep. This is New York Knicks owner James Dolan.
This is Madison Square. Yeah, I feel you. Actually, though, yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate that though, Michael, man. You know what I mean? I love baseball, actually. Low key, like when the stream's over, I kind of can't wait till the stream is over because I've been playing MLB The Show and it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun. And yeah, really kind of not just having been a lifelong baseball fan, but I could tell you like right now I'm in a period of my life where I'm like actively, like proactively getting more into baseball. Like I'm like actively, like I subscribe to like different streaming services and shit so that I can follow both the Mets and the Yankees. It's a really good time right now because it's baseball season, so the Mets and Yankees play like almost every day, and then it's also WNBA season, so the New York Liberty are playing. But yeah, I'm always happy to participate in a sports rivalry. In LA, California, and New York is automatic beef. You already know. But yeah, this is the president sleeping at goddamn Madison Square Garden because he's such a big Knicks fan. Such a big Knicks fan, he's sleeping during the NBA Finals in the Garden. Huge Knicks fan. Huge Knicks fan. Man, he cares so much about basketball.
He is a pal of Donald Trump and even married his wife at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate.
Sound familiar? Like how all the people organizing and leading NanoCon are pals of Elliot Martin. Interesting. Don't forget what your boy Michael was trying to tell y'all. We've been telling y'all from the beginning that Elliot Martin organized NanoCon. We've been saying that. Come on, it was obvious, right? Nashville Nuns, NanoCon. What is Elliot known for? He's known for being the dude that does all the meetups and the in-person shit in the Nashville area with all the groups. So we know he lives close, right? Then we know he's hosting the shit, right? We know from talking to speakers, he's helping everybody with their travel arrangements and making sure everything's okay. Like that's, again, I'm a goddamn professional scientist. You only got to describe so many responsibilities to me to go, that person's one of the key organizers of that conference. Duh. Right? You only got to tell me so many facts to go, boop, that person's one of the key organizers to that motherfucking conference. Okay? And then your boy Michael Beverly took a hot minute to just put the toddler videos on pause and remind people that nigga could do some research. And the nigga went into the motherfucking archives and found point blank proof positive where Elliot and his other secularizing buddies are like, we are bringing back NanoCon. Boom, there it is. Elliot, and other leader in his organization, telling you that the organization that he founded is in fact the organization that is putting forth NanoCon. The call is coming from inside the house, and they're going to continue to act like there wasn't a conflict of interest. That basically means SR's organization is the motherfuckers that hired the internal investigator. And they gonna sit up here and act like that's not a huge conflict of interest. And none of these big content creators have heard about this, and none of them have anything to say about it. None of them. Y'all gonna go for that. Okay.
And what do you know? He has said his team, the New York Knicks, have accepted Donald Trump's invitation. For the record, if and when.
Oh, damn. Michael was there in 2005. It was a classic series. Amazing. Then they went to Chicago and choked. Sad. Yo, Michael, that's so cool. Yo, Mike, if I get out there, man, we gonna have to talk baseball. Yo, that'd be so cool to just like kick it together in Mexico and drink and smoke and watch baseball, bro. Oh my God, that sounds like a good ass time. Oh yeah, I found a second channel where Elliot admits himself. So one is Gary, one is Elliot. Yeah, so they both basically confirmed that they brought back NanoCon. Awesome. That is fantastic. That's fucking fantastic. So again, like, it's over, y'all. Come on now. That's it. That's it right there. Like, that's it. It's been it. I got to be honest with you. Like, we have had so many slam dunk, seal the door, this shit is over moments. You gotta remember, back in December, we were showing people where they were saying there's video exonerating him, there's video exonerating him. Oh, we're not asking for the video to be made public. We're asking if the video even exists to determine if they, closed the investigation on solid grounds. And then we have the Nancy telling her sister, hey, Pat, the sheriff said they can't go forward with it because there's no video evidence, and the only video there is in the lobby. Like, that was it. Like, come on, that's it. That shows you everything the Flying Monkeys was talking about. Everything they were sitting on was some bullshit, right? We showed the receipts of all the Flying Monkeys who say we were threatening them and stalking them, harassing them, and being transphobes and we ain't never do none of that. All we did was show you where they either said Patti and Nancy were lying, or they said there was video evidence exonerating. All we did was show you receipts where they, in their own words, unsolicited, sent messages to us claiming Patti and Nancy were lying, victim blaming, and slut shaming. All we did was say, here's what they sent us, here's what they sent us, here's what they sent us, here's what they sent us. It was over then. It was already over. We showed all the emails. How do y'all think I got Patti's fucking emails? Again, the chain is not that hard to figure out, dum-dums. Nancy said Patti had her permission to talk about the shit on YouTube and to share it and to do whatever she thought she needed to do to bring accountability in the community. Patti saw us being supportive, being willing to bring forward the story, wanted to make sure we got our facts straight, wanted to make sure that whatever she told us, that, again, we believed her. Like, she could have just said what she said and that'd have been it. But she ain't want to even go out like that. Right? She was like, nah, I don't even want you to think you gotta take my word for it. Let me show you. Right? So again, I just appreciate these women, because you gotta understand, I'm some random nigga off the internet. Yes, Patti and Nancy were familiar with my channel. We've watched each other to have some, parasocial acquaintance, and maybe that could, okay, they could have a little bit of an understanding and maybe have some credibility to them. Yes, I met Nancy in Kentucky, and I did a stream with Patti. So what I'm saying, like, we're friendly, but we ain't BFFs for life. Patti calls me when she, was having a rough time at home, and we reminisce on, the college years, right? In other words, we ain't close enough to justify her sharing her personal text messages with her sister with me and sharing her personal email exchanges with me. Like, we don't know each other like that. She's doing that because this shit is so important to her that she wants the people who are trying to show support for her sister all the resources and receipts and evidence that she has to help document and have them understand the story as close to as she understands it as possible. And so she's willing not just to show people her personal communications, but to allow essentially acquaintances, barely not strangers, to broadcast that shit publicly on YouTube. If y'all don't see how serious of an effort that is for the Apostate Sisters to have this community know exactly what happened to that woman so we could understand it and deal with it, then I don't even want to talk to you, because you're such a monstrous, disgusting human being that you literally don't even want to really acknowledge the realities of how invasive this has all been to those women, and that they did that for this community, that they did not have to subject themselves to this, especially after the way this community has treated them, especially after the way these people have treated them. They would have been perfectly within reason to just fuck off and just never speak to anybody in this space ever again. And instead, they doubled back down and said, I'll give you our version of the Epstein files. If you want it and we got it, you can see it and you can share it. If you want it and we got it, you can see it and you can share it. Can you ask for anything more from women in that situation? And then we get the 10-page notarized statement. I'm telling you, as an anthropologist, that's the archaeological record. Y'all want to play like it don't work like that, but nigga, that's how it works. And by the way, it works like that in the court of law too. And all these receipts, all these streams, all these broadcasts, all these receipts, that's all going to be seen as documentary evidence. Same way, if you were an anthropologist and you're trying to fix, let's say you were an anthropologist and you were an anthropologist 50 years from now, right? And you're trying to figure out what the fuck happened at NanoCon 25, because 50 years from now, there's some fund called the Nancy Viswanathan, Survivor Fund, and people trying to figure out what were the realities of Nancy Viswanathan's story, because now it's bloomed into this multi-million-dollar organization. And so they hire some anthropologists and some lawyers and some journalists and some people to go back in time and try to really recreate her story, because they're going to make like a documentary out of it. What would they do? What would they do? Yeah, they'd find the time capsule. They'd watch all Michael's streams. They'd watch Durante's videos. They'd watch Uncle Bobby's videos. They'd watch Becca's videos. They'd watch Filbert's videos. They'd watch all the Flying Monkeys videos. They'd watch AJ's videos and Casey's videos, and they'd go through and they'd see everything on the NanoCon page, and they'd look up they go back in the Wayback Machine and they would look at the archive pages of NanoCon's history, and they would say, well, who were the speakers? Who were the sponsors? Who was involved? And yes, they would find my channel. They would find my content. They would go through my playlist. They would find PC's channel. They would go through PC's playlist. They would find Michael's channel. They would read Michael's paper. They would find Patti's channel. They would see Patti's videos. They would read Nancy's 10-page notarized statement. They would read Nancy's notarized 10-page statement. They would read Nancy's notarized 10-page statement. And all of this will remain as the material record of exactly what went down. You will not be able to hide this forever. I promise you that.
The Knicks do attend the White House, they will become
Damn,
the
that's
first
crazy, Michael.
NBA championship team to
Congratulations, a
visit
legend.
Donald John Trump
Yeah,
during
that's
either of
crazy.
his terms as President of the United States of America.
When a team is asked to go to the White House, especially an NBA
That's
team,
unbelievable baseball.
the owner or the general manager has checked with the players, and for the most part, the players have said no. Knicks accept invitation
Right.
to White House is not what happened.
Nope.
James Dolan, who is very close to Donald Trump and wants to have his businesses helped out by the White House and the federal government, accepted the invitation.
Right. Now listen. Let me pull that back, hear this, and then I'm gonna show y'all something.
As President of the United States of America.
When a team is asked to go to the White House,
I'm gonna go back so you can hear
have
the quote that was
accepted Donald Trump's invitation.
All right, here you go.
For the record, if and when the Knicks do attend the White House, they will become the first NBA championship team to visit Donald John Trump during either of his terms as President of the United States of America.
Now that's important, right? It's important for a bunch of reasons. It's important because, again, conservatives always want to say tradition, and you got to keep with the tradition. What this story reveals is the NBA broke with this tradition a long ass time ago, primarily because it's a league of black players. And black teams of black players do not fuck with the idea of taking their championship to Donald Trump. Whatever taking your championship to the White House was supposed to mean, it no longer meant that as soon as y'all elected Donald Trump president. And nobody gave a fuck about the NBA champions not going to the White House. Why? Because it's predominantly a black league and nobody gave a fuck. So the fact that people now would turn around and try to act like it's a big deal if the Knicks don't go to the White House just shows you up front that it's just racist bullshit. Now, the bigger problem here, and here's the plantation mentality, he assumes because he's the owner, okay, boom, I just accept the invitation on behalf of the team. Now the players are rolling with me. Maybe in his own little twisted white boy head, because you know how fucking white people got that colonizer mentality baked all the way into him. Maybe he thinks he's protecting his team from the political fallout, right? Maybe he thinks, if I talk to the players about this, or I leave it up to the players, or that whole thing, then my players are going to take heat if they decide that they want to visit Trump. But I want to visit Trump because Trump's my homie. So I'm going to just say yes for the team. And then they could just say that they had to go because I accepted the invitation. And then the smoke and the heat could be on me. But it don't matter what the fuck your rationale is. At the end of the day, you made it even worse because, again, you did the plantation thing. You assumed you could act as our benevolent Lord, Master, and Ruler instead of understanding that essentially we're not even really employees. Like, I hate to say this, but the average NBA player is far closer to being an independent contractor. Now, do they have some employee-like shit? Sure. Is there power dynamics and supervision and shit like that? Sure, but they are far closer to independent. Remember, they can be traded. They can hit free agency. Their contracts are only good for a couple of years. They have to sign those contracts. They have all sorts of way they can hold out their contracts. They can refuse it. Like there's all sorts of things that NBA players and that NBA Players Association will quickly remind you. These are grown ass autonomous men. And James Dolan might be able to find that out because, again, his players are basically untouchable because they just won a championship in New York. So if some of them really hold out and say, I'm not going to the White House, what is he really going to do about it? But the fact that he would even just accept this invitation on their behalf says a lot. And I'm going to show you what it says about NanoCon in a second. And it's going to hit you, but just hang on for a minute.
When a team is asked to go to the White House, especially an NBA team, the owner or the general manager has checked with the players, and for the most part, the players have said no. Knicks accept invitation to White House is not what happened. James Dolan, who is very close to Donald Trump and wants to have his businesses helped out by the White House and the federal government, accepted the invitation. James Dolan, who is very close to Donald Trump and wants to have his businesses helped out by the White House and the federal government, accepted the invitation. James Dolan, who is very close to Donald Trump and wants to have his businesses helped out by the White House and the federal government, accepted the invitation. And it is
all right. Now listen, let's pause there, right? So the Knicks didn't accept the invitation. James Dolan accepted the invitation. And why did James Dolan, Mr. Plantation mentality, accept the invitation? He accepted the invitation because he's good friends with Donald Trump. He's buddies with Donald Trump, and he wants to look out for his businesses, right? Now, this is how I'm gonna flip that and show you how it relates to NanoCon. Eli Slack is a veteran, a former Christian and recovering misogynist who now critically examines the patriarchal and nationalist ideas he once embraced. Formerly a producer and regular host at the atheist community of Austin, his current work challenges toxic models of masculinity and explores healthier frameworks rooted in responsibility, presence, and care. At NanoCon 2026, he will be a panelist on, quote, stories of healthy masculinity. This July 31st, grab your fellow apostates, and come raise some hell. Get your tickets at NanoCon Rocks. Wishing you a happy Juneteenth from the NanoCon community. Shay Leona is the communications manager at the American Humanist Association, host of the podcast How to Humanist, and runs AHA's creator program, which partners with content creators to bring humanism to new audiences. She's a musician based in Philadelphia who came to this movement the same way she hopes you did, curious, a little confused, and glad she stayed. At NanoCon 2026, she'll be hosting a workshop called Damn, Did I Just Learn That I'm a Humanist? This July 31st, grab your fellow apostates and come raise some hell. So we have the veteran, patriarchy examiner, enemy of toxic models of masculinity, which I guess I'm sure is me and Michael Beverly. Curious communications manager, humanist, podcaster, musician. Godfather engineer. John Gleason is an ex-Christian who once believed Adam and Eve were real people, but when the doubts started pouring in like the floodwaters of Noah's Ark, he had no one to turn to. That's when he decided to use his voice and encourage others to do the same through creating content as Godless Engineer. At NanoCon 2026, he will be hosting a panel with Ember on how to do your homework as an influence. Oh, how to do your homework as an influencer. So that'll be interesting because why do I have a feeling that'll be a subtle jab at certain group of people who I guess these people think are not good at doing their homework. But it's interesting. They're going to teach us how to do our homework as an influencer. I can't wait to see that. I'm sure it's going to be such a good talk. I wonder what the fuck they'll be talking about. Our sponsors make NanoCon possible. These are some of the amazing folks that have helped bring secular community together in Tennessee for the last 10 years. Show them some love by leaving a comment or subscribing to their socials. Check out our website for a full list of sponsors and get your tickets to celebrate NanoCon's 10th anniversary. Oh, it's got to be the biggest, baddest NanoCon ever. It's the 10th anniversary. American Atheist, the Humanists of Tennessee, the American Humanist Association, Polaris Financial Planning, Elliot Martin's organization, Secularizing U.S., Embers, Astral Pride, Recovering from Religion, Black Non-Believers, Godfather Engineer, literally, the Flying Monkeys are sponsoring NanoCon. The Flying Monkeys are sponsoring NanoCon, you know, the ones that aren't featured speakers at least. Some are doing both. Mary Kate Brown is a seasoned disability advocate, educator, and consultant specializing in disability justice and inclusion. She has worked at all levels of government, local, state, and federal to empower communities to cultivate accessible, equitable social environments where everyone can thrive, no faith required. At NanoCon, she will be hosting a workshop called Disability Inclusion for a Kinder, Smarter, Godless World. A kinder, smarter, godless world. NanoCon is back. The Nashville Nuns Convention is a no gods, no masters get together for heathens and skeptical believers. This July 31st, grab your fellow apostates and come raise some hell. Chad Harris was raised within the Institute in Basic Life Principles, IBLP, and its Advanced Training Institute homeschool program, a fundamentalist Christian cult. In 2023, he appeared in the miniseries Shiny Happy People to share his experience of growing up in a high control religious environment and the harm it causes. At NanoCon, Chad will appear on a panel of men sharing their stories of healthy masculinity. Remember, this is the guy who was hosting the show with Drew Beckius, the husband of the woman that found the victim, and then let 160 comments dogpile and slut shame that victim on his Facebook post. So that's who he was hosting that show with. And then I called in and I was told, and my call was cut off because I wanted to talk about what happened to Nancy at NanoCon, and I was told I'd have to talk to the board about that. So Chad and Drew, who are again flying monkeys, literally participating in this cover-up, refusing to speak out about what happened to Nancy, are going to be on a panel. He's going to be on the panel talking about toxic masculinity. Y'all could just let me know when you're tired of letting these people play in your face about all this. You could just, if y'all could just kind of, I don't know, maybe somebody shoot me an email or text message or hit me up on Discord or something and just let me know when the white people have had enough of these other white people playing in their face about this bullshit. That would be cool. I'd really appreciate that. I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to grab your fellow apostates and come raise some hell. Don't forget the grabbing the part. Don't forget to grab them now. And fuck up if you ain't grabbing your fellow apostates. They think this shit is so cute. They literally think it's cute to play in our face about the quote unquote controversy surrounding NanoCon. Daniel Cartier is living proof that it's possible to disagree with your neighbors and loved ones on religion and politics without burning bridges. Did anybody ask? Recording and visual artist, podcast host, recovery advocate, and gay atheist in rural Tennessee, Daniel spends his time navigating one of life's hardest challenges, loving people who occasionally make him want to scream into a pillow. Through years of recovery work and community building, notice how he can do everything. Notice how the white people could do everything. He could be a recording and visual artist, podcast host, recovery advocate, gay atheist, like everything, right? And again, they're playing in our face on purpose. Do you really think it's a coincidence that I had to make a 6-hour stream after Kip Davis tore down my credentials and said there's no way I could be teaching everything I claim to be teaching. There's no way I could be qualified to do all the things I claim I did. And then I had to come on and show receipts of everything I did. And then every single NanoCon speaker, presenter has 10 gifts and talents. Every single one of them has like 9, 10 things they do. And you're supposed to be impressed by how multi-talented they are. Y'all really think that that's a fucking coincidence? Or you think it's more playing in our faces about it? Through years of recovery work and community building, he's learned that life is much better when you take care of relationships. At NanoCon 2026, he'll be hosting a workshop called Staying Connected to Those Who Believe Differently. Nigga, as if we asked. NanoCon is back. The Nashville Nuns is a no God, no masters get together for heathens and skeptical blasphemers. Come for the speeches, stay for the community, support, laughs, and high fives. This July 1st, grab your fellow apostates and come raise some hell. ChatGPT does a good job for AJ over here on the NanoCon channel. Okay. Russell Pratt. Russell Pratt is the secretary of the Clergy Project. He ran for city council in his last year. He lost because otherwise they would tell you he won. In his city last year because he understood the need for good-hearted secular people in office. He will host a workshop on how to get started and the pitfalls to avoid when running for office. Russell is a wizard of social media, digital marketing, and wants to share his skill with you. NanoCon is back, right? So now we have another one, you know, social media, digital master, brand wizard, political activist. He's going to show you how to run for office. Again, the people covering up sex crimes and sponsoring the cover up of sex crimes are going to teach you how to run for office. Casey Kirikoff went from conspiracy rabbit hole to finding hope in humanism. He traded secret plots for critical thought and finding meaning beyond the 3 C's: capitalism, conspiracies, and Christianity. What about patriarchy, capitalism, and white supremacy? Patriarchy, capitalism, white supremacy. Y'all got to invent a new big 3. Interesting. Capitalism, conspiracies, and Christianity. Y'all are funny. His workshop will explain his relevant history, show how the 3 C's funneled him into pipelines which monopolize the way we find meaning, and provide some alternatives to lift up our spirits, pun intended. Expect insights, laughs, audience participation, and at least a few mic drop moments from this ingenious battle rapper. NanoCon is back. The Nashville Nuns Convention is a no gods, no masters get together for heathens and skeptical blasphemers. Come for the speeches, stay for the community support, laughs, and high fives. Grab your fellow apostates and come race on. Need a roommate or ride share for NanoCon? Gail Jordan is an ex-Southern Baptist who discovered critical thinking and decided to get a law degree to help non-traditional families plan for the unthinkable. After leaving religion, Gail went on to run for state senate as an openly atheist candidate, earning the unofficial title of the most dangerous woman in Tennessee, which is actually pretty cool when your secret weapon is asking questions. These days, she is the executive director at Recovering from Religion, helping people navigate faith transitions with support and resources. Gail is also an activist, gardener, animal keeper, and event host at this year's NanoCon. She is a pillar of the community. Again, she's in a long-term committed relationship with a guy who's done dozens of internal investigations, and he was hired last year by Elliot Martin's organization to do the internal investigation for NanoCon. And now his partner, now that internal investigator is on the board of NanoCon this year, and now she's the host and one of the featured speakers. I hope y'all are getting the picture. I'm not going to go through all these because I really don't give a fuck. Now, here's the fucking question. Who are these fucking people? Is this what the community asked for? Does the community want NanoCon? Did the community ask for these fucking clowns, these goddamn amateurs with not an ounce of expertise amongst the lot of them? I could just go to my university, probably pick a random student that just graduated, and they'd have more credentials than 7 of them people put together. Is this what the community asked for? Is this what y'all wanted? Is the community hot under the collar for NanoCon? Is the community hot to see these people? You hot to pay a couple $100s to go to NanoCon and hear this bullshit? You hot to save up, I don't know, some of y'all probably a couple grand or whatever it might be to travel and make a weekend out of it, or a week, whatever y'all gonna do. Or is this Elliot's homies, Elliot's friends, grifting the fuck out of this community so they could get paid, so they could protect their profit, their popularity, and their proximity to power and influence? Do the people want to see the Knicks go to the White House? Do the Knicks want to go to the White House? Or is the homie of the powerful, toxic, narcissistic, abusive, tragically dark triad, broken human being Donald Trump organizing this, accepting the invitation on everybody's half, setting this all up, and then shoving it down the people's throats, whether they ask for it or not? Which one do you think it is? Is this what the community wants? Is this your idea of expertise? Is this your idea of what a great secular humanist conference looks like? And y'all really want this from NanoCon right now. Y'all really want to do NanoCon right now. And you really want to go buy a ticket to hear them people talk about that bullshit. Or are Elliot's homies just grifting off y'all asses? And they don't give a fuck about Nancy. They don't give a fuck about the harassing, doxing, and stalking of the whistleblower. They don't give a fuck about the conspiracy. They don't give a fuck about the cover-up. They just want to get paid. And they want to maintain their ability to get paid and be popular. Damn, whose life has to be erased in the process. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me what you think is going on.
This is the most, I'm being sincere about this, plantation owner I've seen since Donald Sterling. I'm being sincere about this, plantation owner I've seen since Donald Sterling. I'm being sincere about this, plantation owner I've seen since Donald Sterling. I'm being sincere about this, plantation owner I've seen since Donald Sterling. I'm being sincere about this, plantation owner I've seen since Donald Sterling. I'm being sincere about this, plantation owner I've seen since Donald Sterling. I'm being sincere about this, plantation owner I've seen since Donald Sterling. I'm being sincere about this, plantation owner I've seen since Donald Sterling. This is the most, I'm being sincere about this, plantation owner I've seen since Donald Sterling. Truly, you're accepting invitation for your players, all but one of whom is black. You're accepting the invitation
for your
to the
community.
White House.
They're accepting the invitation on behalf of this community. What is the community going to do about it? Show me. Don't tell me. Show me what you're going to do about it.
Without checking with them, without checking with your coach, who happens to be a black man as well. You're not checking with any of them. You are accepting, the white owner of this team, is accepting an invitation. And you then expect, of course, your players to go because they work for you. They run your shop. And they, of course, are going to adhere to the commands of owner.
Sports journalist and author Jeff Pearlman, well, he hated it.
He called it for what it is.
It's not all that difficult to see
really isn't.
why.
It really
For the
ain't
players, the Knicks' role player, Josh Hart, would tweet, "Yes, sir, get Trump's dumb blank out of the White House," after the Democrat Joe...
And y'all didn't get Elliot out the White House. Y'all elevated him. Nigga was laughing on Easter Sunday talking about something, he the secular Jesus, and he says it all the time. He says it all the time. He revels in his ability to get this community to look the other way, ignore his crimes against humanity, and then crown himself the secular Jesus. And y'all say, well, he deserves it because he's such a great community builder and secular leader. Is this what the fucking people want?
Biden defeated him in the 2020 election.
Josh Hart ain't going. He ain't going. There's no way in 2020 you can tweet, get Trump's dumbass out the White House, and then you backpedal better than Dion.
Nah, come on, dog. Nah, we out.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. No way.
You tweet that Josh Hart
without you,
and then now you gonna go. You have had a change of heart.
I tell you like this, I won't be at NanoCon. Been trying to tell y'all, man, somebody gonna get hurt at NanoCon. It won't be me. It won't be one of my friends. But it looked like them tickets are selling because they full steam ahead.
And so at some point you got to stand on what you stand on. I'd be shocked if Josh Hart attends. That will be shocking to me. There's no way that I tweet that and now I reverse course and say, oh, well, now that we've won a championship, I'm going to go ahead and go. Well, no.
That wouldn't be all from Josh Hart. Years prior, In Trump's first go-around, when the then POTUS and current POTUS went after LeBron James over and over again?
I know you'd probably think the Trump tweet comment at Bron. Do you have any remarks for that?
I mean, it's just childish. I mean, that's someone who literally just opened school in this past week, helping, kids from the inner city, kids that don't have parents in their lives and that kind of thing. Someone who is a role model, obviously for Americans, but definitely young African Americans. So to see that is just it's childish, and that's a shame because that's our president. But I mean, hopefully he'll be better. But it's childish.
What should stand out to everybody is the fact that Jim Dolan, Nepo baby, trust fund baby, much like Donald Trump, did not consult with his players. He is now trying to get in front of even broaching that conversation, which he will not, by saying, no, we accept it. We accept it, we're going. Okay. He is basically saying, I demand you to go with me to see my friend. That is what he's doing. I have a lot of thoughts on this. First, once more from Perlman.
And I've always been uncomfortable with the role of owners in sports, the way it's almost always a white man and it's majority black athletes calling that man Mr. Sterling, Mr. Buss, Mr. Dolan. Meanwhile, they're all first name.
Let's have a science moment. Whiskey and water. Whiskey and water. It's legit. It's legit. See, normally, like, I like my whiskey kind of straight. I like tasting the straight whiskey. And normally when I put an ice cube in my glass, it's really just because I want the whiskey cold. I used to freeze my whiskey and keep it in the freezer. I stopped doing that. I should really just go back to doing that, to be honest with you, because that's how I like it. But I've taken to the ice, and if you let the ice fully set and melt, it'll get really watered down, and it's fine. It's no big deal. But the thing they say with like whiskey drinkers is like just like a splash of water, right? So what I did was I had my ice cube like sitting in the glass for a little bit, and normally I would drink the water and then just pour the whiskey into whatever's left of the ice cube so that it doesn't water it down. But this time I just added the whiskey in with the melted ice a little bit, and so it actually was like kind of like the splash of water thing. Like I never do the official like whiskey with just a splash of water, which is like one of the top recommended ways to drink it. But I just did it, and it works. It like works. It's really cool. Because the thing is, like, when you get into tasting whiskeys, right, you want to taste the bottle, right? You want to taste whatever they fucking say it has, right? If it's got the hints of caramel and notes of apricot and the smoky whatever, right? So you're trying to get the taste and then the mouth feel and maybe the scent, right? And all the different nodes and shit, right? But with the water, it almost like smooths it out. And it tones down some of the stuff that jumps out to your palate when you drink it straight and allows you to like taste more of those subtle things. And it's almost like has the consistency more of like a beer or like a wine, but I'll probably compare it to beer just because the color and the taste. And then, so it's almost like drinking the whiskey, the beer version of your whiskey, right? Like if you made a beer with whiskey, right, you'd probably just water down the whiskey or whatever, right? But it works. I don't know. It's just cool. Like, try it. I don't know. Fuck it. It works. Just give it a shot. I don't know. If that's for if you're a whiskey drinker and you always wondered about the water thing. Like, taste it straight and then, like, just chill for a minute, let your palate reset, and then give it a go with the water. And, like, I don't know. For me, like, you'll be like, oh, both of those are really cool. Like, I kind of want to try whiskeys both ways because it brings out just a different part of the taste or the palate.
This is the Knicks did not say yes. Their owner said yes. And I I truly hope the Knicks players, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart.
Yeah, so this is my hope, right? I hope that people realize what I'm saying today and that it really sticks with them. And they're like, yeah, no, we as a community, not only did we not ask for this NanoCon shit, we can't put up with this shit. Like y'all can't do this. Like you just can't do this, right? And people need to really check these people. Like these people's egos are way out of line, right? And the community needs to rally together and stand up to these people and go, you just can't do this. Like it's not a back and forth. It's not a debate. We're not gonna keep having this fucking circle jerk of back and forth with the content, right? We're exposing them and documenting what the fuck is going on. This isn't a fucking back and forth. The shit needs to get shut down. Period. End of story.
On the Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns, on and on and on. Say no, we're not going.
Yeah, we're not
because
going.
James Dolan doesn't have a choice in this. What is he going to do? Fire them all? They just won the NBA championship. They actually have the power right now. So it's
and this is what I'm telling everybody else that's making content about NanoCon. That umbrella includes everybody making content about NanoCon. We all need to do our job and shift the focus to the people. We need to do our job and shift the focus to the people. Because the reality is, one of the most direct ways to shut down NanoCon, I'm not going to say it's the easiest, but one of the most direct ways to shut down NanoCon is make it the event nobody can stomach showing up to. You just have to, at the end of the day, you just have to make it the event that nobody can stomach showing up to. You have to make it the event that people, it doesn't matter how late in the game it is, that you're going to catch some people on their way to the airport. You're going to catch some people, they've landed in fucking Tennessee and they're at the hotel the night before. And you want something to just hit them and go, am I really about to wake up tomorrow morning and go to NanoCon knowing what happened to that woman last year? To me, that's our mission right now. Because it's the same shit with Trump. It's the same shit with Trump. The reality is, as a black man in America, don't fucking mention Trump to me unless you're willing to talk about Trump supporters. And then don't you think you're going to open your white ass mouth and use English words I can understand and then try to tell me you understand the problem of Trump, meaning you understand the problem of Trump supporters, and then think my black ass isn't going to remind you how every single one of y'all was talking about we needed to be nice to them, we needed to be accepting of them, we didn't need to call them out, we needed to all hold hands and sing Kumbaya with them, we shouldn't be calling them racist, we shouldn't be making fun of them. Remember that? Remember that? Remember that? Do you remember that? Oh, because we do. Oh, because we do. We remember all that Blue Lives Matter bullshit.
Garbage. It's plantation level bullshit by a white man, a short little white man who got all his money from his daddy.
What we do know is that there will at least be one player in attendance, at least in my opinion. Senator Mitchell Robinson is reportedly a registered Republican and even told reporters, quote, "It was cool, I guess, that Trump attended Game 3 at James Dolan's Madison Square Garden." As Newsweek would write, as The Cut would write, not exactly a ringing endorsement, but not a total rebuke either. And of course, there is a guy in New York media and a former NFL player who loves all this.
When does Jim Dolan tell his team that we're going down to visit my good friend Donald Trump in the White House? That's what I can't wait for. And hopefully they all go. Hopefully they go just like they're doing everything that they're doing here. I would love to see them be honored at the White House. Given this is the 250th birthday of our great nation, wouldn't it be wonderful to see the Knicks standing there with a huge Knick fan who happens to be the president of the United States.
I'm a Republican.
Yeah. Well, you go out of respect to the office is why you go.
But you know what I mean. Yes, of course. I understand that.
Everybody can get over the political nature of all of this. You have a legitimate Knick fan sitting in the White House who actually came to a game.
Yeah.
And the first sitting president ever to go to a NBA championship game, which is to me is amazing in its own right. So you may not like it. I don't really care if you do or you don't.
Here's where I stand on this, okay? If you were to watch the parade when they had the speeches, Zoran Mamdani spoke of, how great all of this stuff is and New York Knicks legends and attendance and some of the best moments in franchise history. And then you had James Dolan go up there and basically shade him for no reason at all. Well, it's because James Dolan is a huge supporter of Trumpism. He is a huge supporter of MAGA politics, and he hates Zoran Mamdani. I believe James Dolan is a racist. I do. But I think the images of Jalen Brunson, Carl Anthony...
Many New York sports fans have always thought this for a very long time. I feel like I feel like that's the first thing I think of when I think of James Dolan, quite frankly. And I just feel like looking back, that's because I grew up in a black household in New Jersey on the East Coast. I mean, I was in Pennsylvania, but my family's from Jersey. My family's from the New York area. My family's all New York sports fans. So whether I was getting it on the basketball side, the football side, or the baseball side, it's always been an issue in New York sports. I'll just put it that way.
Many towns and many others dapping up the mayor because his politics are good and pure is a reason why Dolan is forcing his players' hands. And as Perlman said, you don't have to go. You just won the championship. Out of anything, James Dolan and his reputation is only improving a little because his team won the championship, and the reports are stating he was too distracted by building the sphere. That is why he wasn't as hands-on as in years past, and why Leon Rose and many others constructed the roster they did to win and hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy. And Boomer Esiason saying all this stuff about, it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat mayor, a socialist mayor, a Republican mayor. We shouldn't play politics. They should go. No, they shouldn't. Yeah. Hey, man, years from now, when you are, and all this stuff is going to come out, it absolutely will. I have no fear whatsoever.
Oh, it's all going to come out.
In my view,
it's all gonna come
rapist, PDF file war criminal. You're going to want to have your picture next to that guy? No, I don't think so. Well, they should go and they should respect the office. MFer, does he respect it? Boomer? I have never seen a man be more.
These white
earn
boys,
that nickname.
The white boys really show their skin. Like I'll tell you what it is. Like I don't trust a lot of white dudes. I really just don't. Not in my personal life. But to the extent that I trust them, I got to see y'all betray your own kind. I got to see white men against white supremacy. Like I fucked with Filbert, right? Because Filbert, is on Team Nancy and he was down. He was the first white boy to really make pro Team Nancy content, right? But then Filbert turned around and backpedaled and apologized to the people that were threatening us. He didn't do it because he's a dick. He didn't do it because he's an asshole. He did it because he sincerely knew to the pressure cooker of being a man standing up to white supremacy, patriarchy, and capitalism, especially as a white man. And he's so new to the game that he got tripped up by somebody who was clearly a nefarious bad actor, literally threatening to do crimes against us in public. But when you're a rookie, you make rookie mistakes. Right? So it was a rookie mistake. He got called out for the rookie mistake, and to his credit, he corrected it on air. That's why I can speak about it like this on air, because he corrected it on air. Good for him, right? But you recognize how, had I fully trusted him, had I just been like, oh, me and Filbert thick as thieves, I'd be pretty fucking disappointed. I feel betrayed by my friend. since I seen him as an ally, but he knew, and I don't really know him like that, but he seems like a cool dude. And when I saw him slip up, I was like, that's disappointing. Then I saw him recover, and I was like, good move. See what I'm saying? So you give him space, not that you hate everybody, but you got to see them go through the process. But what I'm saying about him is at least a good thing, because I've at least seen him go through that process. I know he's genuinely on his way. I know he's sincerely on his way, because I seen him go in the right direction. I seen him step off course, but then I saw him not let stepping off course change his direction and get him off mission. He just course corrected and kept it pushing. All right, cool. That's a good one right there. You're doing all right. You're going to be all right. You got a lot to learn, but you're going to be all right. And what did he do? He got up out of here. Now he makes trucking content, right? So he got in there, he helped, and then he moved on with life, which is fine. Nobody owes Nancy, dedicating your channel to NanoCon. Nobody owes us, continuing to make content for the next 42 days or whatever it is until NanoCon is over. Nobody has to do all that. So it's fine that he just moved on. But again, over here in the pressure cooker where we riding or dying for Nancy, and we gonna see it all the way through, and who knows how many years this will really take. You notice how some people have already just moved on, and that's cool. Again, they have every right in the world to do that, and we're glad for the help that they provided. But again, we need to figure out who them real ones that's going to be down in here with the trenches with us, and who's going to stay in the trenches with us. And y'all have to show us that before we believe that. You can't just tell us that who you are. So that's why I fuck with like somebody like Michael, because Michael sees the shit I do, and he'll go there, and he really shows up to help, and then takes things to like the next level. So you never earn that perfect trust, because we're all still vulnerable. We all still have internalized racism. I'll always have internalized misogyny. There's no reason a woman should ever fully, completely trust me, right? But it would make sense that she would learn to trust me a little bit more if she saw evidence that I'm aware of patriarchy, I understand the harm that patriarchy causes, and you can see me actively doing the work to fight patriarchy and become less internally misogynist myself. Now, will I ever fully perfectly get there? No. And I'm okay with that, because that's what keeps me trying to get better, right? But that's all I'm saying is like, we got to really understand that, like, y'all have to show us that you're good people. You can't just show up anymore and just say, oh, I'm white and I say nice things and I'm polite. It's like, nah, we want to see your character under pressure. So even like Boomer Esiason, like, again, he's a football player, so I don't really give a fuck. And I don't really expect anything politically from football players. If anything, I expect rich white dudes to be on the wrong side of history almost always. But of course, it's disappointing that like he just can't even read the room and recognize what we're really dealing with Donald Trump. And then they're so addicted to the fucking status quo that they insist on us, doing that old school shit. And it's like, just wake the fuck up, man.
More. I mean, he is a boomer. Norman Boomer Esiason is a prototypical boomer. And his co-host is a schlub. My God. Can you lick Boomer's behind any cleaner at this point? These two are a joke of a show. I cannot imagine who listens to this. I mean, I can. Like police commissioners, union busters. I think they love it. Respect the office. My God, man.
I know.
Have some
like,
dignity.
So fucking
Hey, I
tone
appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's
all
too
right,
much
now,
for you.
Here are two women, and I haven't seen this because y'all know me. I like to go live, and I teach like that too. Like most, actually, should say sometimes when I show my students this, I've seen it, and other times I don't. I like to be live. I think if you really want to model good education, you should have conversations in real time. So I like to react to stuff. Plus, I think it makes the content better. But I knew I wanted to show y'all that piece, and I knew I wanted to use it as a setup for this piece. So Jamel Hill is going to be talking with Joy Reid about Dolan's main character syndrome, and I think that's going to be a direct parallel to what we're dealing with this Elliot Martin shit in the NanoCon situation. So I'm excited to give y'all my real-time reaction to this. And then I have another piece that I started to watch some of, that we're gonna get into after this. So we have this, and then we have one more after this. But all right, let's get it.
Who owns the Knicks? Dolan.
Sorry. I wanted to get to this song. I didn't realize it was that short. All right, let me just let it go. Song cut her off.
So Jeff Dolan. Is his name Jeff Dolan? I always want to call him James.
James. I think it's James.
James Dolan.
Yeah.
The guy who owns the Knicks.
There it is. The nigga who owns Madison Square Garden.
He is not a great guy. It's James
Leader
Dolan. I was
of
calling
the
Jeff
MSG
Dolan, but James
group.
Dolan. James Dolan. He's the guy who.
Oh yeah, I gotta tell y'all some shit, man. I gotta tell y'all some shit. Let me just hit y'all with something real quick. So y'all understand something. Like, I was having a conversation with ChatGPT about things. Let me see if I can find this conversation. No, I don't think this is it. I think this is my that's related to my franchise thing. It's probably my project somewhere. Oh yeah. It's in here somewhere. All right. All right, cool. Let's go here. No, it's not it either. I can't find this. Oh, I know where it is. It's in the conversation I was having about hockey. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Maybe I could share this so y'all can see it. I could get in here and do that. Hang on a sec. Okay, what did I say here? All right, I'm gonna start here. I don't even know if that's all of it, but I'm gonna start here for now. We'll see what happens. All right. All right. So I'm talking to ChatGPT and let me change the view real quick. That's not a good view for this. That's a little better. Could do this. No, that sucks. Let's do that. All right, do that. And then I'll make it bigger. All right, so I asked him, what's the case for the Yankees beyond dynasty and money? And I said that for a particular reason. I was having a back and forth with ChatGPT about the lore and history of different New York sports franchises. And, it was really fun. I'm just having some New York sports fan fun with ChatGPT, right? And so now I'm kind of playing with it. So I said, what's the case for the Yankees beyond dynasty and money, right? Because typically that's what comes up when you talk about the Yankees. And then I said, also talk a bit about how New York City has had a lot of history with police issues and justice reform, racism, et cetera, but also a lot of civic pride attached to the NYPD. How do sports fans, especially black ones, see that tension? All right, and so it says the case for the Yankees beyond dynasty and money is that the Yankees are not only the team wins, they are one of the clearest symbols of New York as civic institution, not just baseball, not just capitalism, not just championships. The Yankees are the Bronx, the interlocking NY. That's this logo. Okay, and this logo started the conversation. I just shouldn't say started the conversation, but this logo was part of the conversation, right? Because this logo on my hat was designed by Tiffany & Co., right? And it was designed for the New York Police Department, right? So I'm now making that connection that this logo on the Yankee fitted, that to me is such a cultural icon, right? I call this the crown, right? If you a nigga from the East Coast, we call this a crown. The Yankee fitted. You know what I'm saying? And traditionally it was the all blue Yankee. You know, now we get them in different colors. This one is actually all black. I had an all black Yankee on the go with my black and white attire. But you know, the all blue Yankee is really the crown around here. You know what I mean? And it's such a symbol of hip hop and things like that. So that's why I wanted to read this to y'all, because I know what Joy Reid, she's setting this up as like the owner of the MSG, right? And I know that there's always this tension, right, between the owners and the capitalists and the business class, right, and the people and the team and the fans, right, and I want to talk about that tension, right, because I think that matters in all of this, right. So just to give y'all a little context, all right. So the Yankees are the Bronx, the interlocking NY, radio summers. That's summers in New York, right? Listening to the Yankees on radio, particularly for a lot of families that may not be able to get into the ballpark, right? A lot of families that can't afford tickets, especially as tickets and live entertainment, all those things increase in prices. You see what I'm saying? But regardless of the economic situation, New York has a very, very strong radio history. Like, even when I'm in the area, even when I'm in New York, sometimes I put on the radio because there's just a different tradition that is still very much alive in New York, that sports, news, lots of things, like the radio is still where shit goes down. And, you know, you're listening to the Yankees or the Mets, you know, on the radio in the summer is like just a New York tradition and pastime, right? So radio summers, subway rides, right? Taking rides to the game, family inheritance, right? Being a fan because, you know, your family members are a fan. It's kind of funny for me because in my family, I'm the only Yankees fan. I think my dad's kind of low-key a Yankees fan, but I think he prefers the Mets too, if I'm being honest. And then on my mom's side of the family, the people that really got me into baseball were my uncles. They're really my mom's uncles, my grandmother's brothers, and they're hardcore Mets fans. So I was like the stand that, you know, kind of sticking out like a sore thumb as a Yankees fan in a family of Mets fans. But they always, you know, celebrated my love of the game. And, you know, as a reward for that, I'm a fan of both clubs. I'm a big fan of the Yankees and the Mets, actually. All right, so Dominican, Puerto Rican, black baseball memory. There you go. And New York's argument that it belongs on the biggest stage. The dynasty case is easy. 27 rings, Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle, Reggie, Jeter, Rivera, Judge, etc. But the deeper case is this. The Yankees are New York's, quote, uniform. The Yankees cap, here it is one of the most powerful civic symbols in the world. You can see it in New York, Newark. Of course, it knows I'm a Newark guy. But it is, right? Even my students in Newark, one of the legendary pieces of gear you can wear on our campus in Newark, New Jersey, at Essex County College, is a New York Yankee fitted. Right? It lets people know you represent this New York metropolitan area. Newark, New Jersey is very, very, very much part of the New York metropolitan area. Matter of fact, depending on who you ask, we'll tell you where the biggest major city in the New York metropolitan area outside of New York. You know, if y'all want to call a whole bunch of cities in New York shadow, then talk about who the biggest in the shadow is. That's gonna be black ass Newark, New Jersey. Anyway, Tokyo, Santo Domingo, London, Lagos, Paris, and it still reads New York. That is bigger than baseball fandom. The interlocking NY comes from a 19th century civic police medal designed by Tiffany & Co. Before the Yankees adopted it, the Yankees first used the interlocking NY on Highlanders uniforms in 1909. So the Yankees are not blue and orange, New Amsterdam civic color. We've been talking about the colors. We were talking about the history of the blue and orange, right? Because the Islanders, the Knicks, and the Mets all use blue and orange. So we had this conversation included us talking about the colors and the history of the colors. Matter of fact, that's how we got into the Yankees. We had talked about the blue and orange, and that included the Mets, and then I was asking it about the colors of the Yankees, and that's when I started talking about the interlocking logo and how that was designed for the police, and then that's what triggered my thoughts about, like, oh shit, well, how do New Yorkers deal with the you know, the history of the police problems and the fact that the city celebrates the NYPD, right? Because NYPD is the most famous police department in the world. NYPD is a cultural phenomenon, right? How many movies and television series and comic books and all of this shit have featured the New York Police Department, right? It is literally a police department that can claim it's a Hollywood movie star, right? Like because New York is such a huge cultural police, right? That police department plays a pivotal role in like fucking Ninja Turtle movies and shit. Like it's just so much shit you don't even realize. Looking back, you go, oh my goodness, the NYPD is in fucking everything. They're everywhere, right? And so New York has this history of stop and frisk, right? But it also has the proudest, most famous police department on the goddamn planet. And it's this tension you have to live with as a fan of and a lover of New York, right? And even as a New York sports fan, because you can't separate the two, right? Like, so the Yankees are not blue and orange, New Amsterdam civic color. They are New York as insignia. The Mets, Knicks, Islanders say city colors. The Yankees say city seal, city badge, city institution. That can be beautiful and complicated. The Yankees are the Bronx. The money/dynasty version of the Yankees can feel corporate, but the lived Yankees are also Bronx neighborhood identity. The team has been tied to the Bronx since 1923, and even Bronx civic institutions frame the Yankees as part of the borough's cultural landscape. That matters because the Bronx is not just, quote, rich Yankees fans. It is working class, immigrant, Black, Latino, Caribbean, hip hop, salsa, public housing, bodegas, schools, churches, trains, struggle, style, and pride. The Yankees are a global empire, yes, but they are also a team whose home is in one of the most important Black and Latino urban spaces in America, right? That right there is the tension I wanted us to have and hold as we listen to these women when they talk about the situation, right? And because it's the same thing with the Knicks, right? With dealing with James Dolan, right? James Dolan is empire. He's the fucking owner of Madison Square Garden, right? Big bad Dolan, owner of the MSG network. This is what I'm saying, right? I hate James Dolan. I've always been told James Dolan's a racist, but I also grew up as a Black kid in the Poconos, and I could watch and follow the Yankees and the Knicks because I had the MSG network. And so I love New York sports because the Poconos, even though I grew up in the Poconos, people don't realize the Poconos is there's a Newark/New York to Poconos pipeline, right? Because people who grow up in those cities and those urban environments, when they, you know, quote unquote, make it or get educated or get a, you know, some education, shit like that, they want to get out of there, right? But then they want to go live somewhere where they still have proximity, right, to Newark, and they have proximity to the city, they have proximity to their family in New Jersey, they have proximity to their family in the city. So there's a lot of people, especially the minorities, that you end up seeing in places like the Poconos, who are still attached to wherever they come from, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Western PA. So when you grow up in the Poconos, you're getting the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh sports because you're in Pennsylvania. The Poconos is Pennsylvania. The Poconos is not Philadelphia. It's not fucking Pittsburgh. It ain't quite Pennsylvania, but it's far more on the Pennsylvania side of things. We just happen to have a lot of housing and developments. Right, but you're in like a rural area with suburban communities built into it. And so that's the life, right? The life is nature. The life is go outside and get lost in the Poconos. Like that's what you do. Just go outside and get lost. You know what I mean? that's all. Ain't really nothing better to do than that. So you have to learn how to make your own fun because ain't shit going on out here. But my point is, you get the Pittsburgh sports, you get the Philadelphia sports, you get the New Jersey sports, if it's the Nets or whatever's going on at the East Rutherford and the Meadowlands and all that shit, and then you get the Knicks, you get New York sports because that's what those people want to follow. So you get all of that, and that's how my sports identity translates, right? Because then I went to Penn State. So then when you go to Penn State, you get even deeper in all things Pennsylvania. So now you're even more Philadelphia and you're even more Pittsburgh because you're in Center County, Pennsylvania. Penn State is dead in the middle of the state. So anytime it comes to football and shit like that, is literally like the biggest fucking one of the biggest colleges in the world, and half these motherfuckers go for Philly, and the other half the motherfuckers go for Pittsburgh. So you end up being a huge fan of both, even though you don't want to admit it. Because even if you're from Pittsburgh, half your friends in college root for Philadelphia. You're gonna end up rooting for Philly at some point, even if you don't want to admit it. If you're from Philly, it really don't matter because half your friends is gonna be going for Pittsburgh every fucking Sunday, and eventually you gonna end up going for Pittsburgh too, and you just don't tell your Philly friends about it. It's just some shit that happened at Penn State, and you leave it there, right? Okay, so then you have that, right? And then I moved back to the East Coast, right? I stayed in Michigan for my postdoc and shit. I worked at the University of Minnesota, so I'm Michigan and Minnesota, right? Because they're part of my training. So I love Michigan sports and Detroit sports and Minnesota sports and Minneapolis sports, right? Because that's part of my training. Michigan and Minnesota is where I finished my training, institution-wise, and then I came back to the East Coast. So now I'm sitting here and I can appreciate that without James Dolan and his organizations and network and all that shit, you know, it's been a huge part of my ability to stay connected to New York sports. At the same time, I have to deal with the realities of his associations with Trump and now the way he wants to move in light of the Knicks' historic championship win. Knicks wait 50 years to win a championship, and we really don't even get like a week or two to celebrate that bitch. We're not even a week after the fucking parade, and this nigga already wants to spoil the party by telling everybody he's dragging the team to the White House. So that's this tension, right? So the Yankees are a global empire, yes, but they're also a team whose home is in one of the most important Black and Latino urban spaces in America, right? That's the tension I hold too. That's why I'm a Yankees fan, right? When I'm a Yankees fan, I'm thinking about the students that I serve in the state of New York, the students that I serve in New Jersey. I'm not thinking about the Steinbrenner family or James Dolan. So the non-dynasty cases, the Yankees are where institutional New York and working class New York collide. The box seats and the bleachers are not the same New York, but they're inside the same cathedral. Number 3, the Yankees are baseball seriousness. Some teams sell whimsy, the Yankees sell ritual. No names on the jerseys, pinstripes, clean shave tradition, Monument Park, Old Timers Day, radio voices, scorekeeping, quote, respect the game. That can be stiff, conservative, even annoying, but it also creates a feeling that when you watch the Yankees, you're watching a franchise that treats baseball like a public ceremony. That is appeal beyond winning. They make regular season baseball feel like it matters. Even a random Tuesday game in the Bronx can feel attached to something old. Now, the same thing applies to the Knicks. Again, because of James Dolan's Madison Square Garden, the Knicks, you got to remember, New York is considered the Mecca of basketball. That's not necessarily all about Madison Square Garden. The Madison Square Garden is a part of that legacy. Rucker Park is a part of that legacy. As I like to say, New York City is home to the most famous arena for basketball, but also the world's most famous playground for basketball. But New York City is the Mecca of basketball. It is a basketball city through and through. Every level of basketball in New York City is fucking serious as dog shit. It's crazy. If you come up in the New York high school basketball team and you are a starting player in New York City high school basketball, you're going somewhere in the game of basketball. Not everyone, a lot of y'all gonna be D1 stars and some of y'all going to the league, but even the rest of y'all can have a career in Europe, coaching, you know, D2 or D3 colleges as a path to sports management, whatever it is, because you can really play. You can really play. You really know this game. You really know this game. So you have to understand that. And the Knicks are the same thing, right? They make basketball feel like a ritual. They take basketball serious. You see what I'm saying? They turn regular season games into event. Why? Because every home game is in the Garden. So even for the away team, right? If you're the Charlotte Hornets, if you're the San Antonio Spurs, if you're the Portland Trailblazers, you normally play in all these other different markets. It's a big deal for you when you play New York. Even if the Knicks suck, this is your opportunity to go to the Mecca of basketball. This is your opportunity to get the eyes of the world in New York City on you as you perform in Madison Square Garden. So no other team in the league has that effect on the away team, where playing on our home court is a milestone in your life, because you can now officially say you've suited up in an NBA game in Madison Square Garden and taken the opportunity to show your talents on that stage. So that's what you love. That's part of it. And then you got to deal with the fact that the owner's fucking James Dolan, right? The Yankees are New York pressure, same with the Knicks, right? The Yankees are not lovable because they're underdogs. They're compelling because they live under constant judgment. Every slump becomes discourse. Every playoff failure becomes civic trauma. Every star has to answer the question, can you handle New York? That is real sports drama. Being a Yankees fan is not only celebrating superiority, is also living inside impossible expectations. As a fan, that can be exhausting. As theater, it is elite. As a fan, that can be exhausting. As theater, it is elite. Now, the hard part, the NYPD connection and the black fan tension. You are right to name it directly. New York has deep civic pride attached to the NYPD, especially around public safety, 9/11, neighborhood service, first responders, parades, funerals, and the idea of New York's finest. The Yankees and Mets have worn NYPD/Fire Department in New York hats for 9/11 commemorations, and the Yankees still market first responders events with police-themed merchandise. At the same time, New York has a long, painful history of police violence, racial profiling, stop and frisk, corruption, and unequal treatment of Black and Latino communities. NYPD stop and frisk data has been a major flashpoint. NYCLU summaries, that's the New York Civil Liberties Union, summaries describe millions of stops, mostly of people of color, and RAND found that in 2006, 89% of NYPD pedestrian stops involved non-white people. Look at that. Almost 90% of NYPD pedestrian stops involved non-white people. That's insane. So for Black sports fans, the Yankee/NYPD symbolism can land in more than one way. Some Black New Yorkers may see the NYPD linked imagery and think, that is part of my city's public history. I have family who served. I respect first responders. 9/11 was real. New York civic pride is real. And other Black New Yorkers may think that same badge has also meant surveillance, harassment, fear, disrespect, violence, and being treated like a suspect in my own city. And many people feel both at once. And yeah, that's how I felt too. Like, even with this NanoCon shit, it's been like, I love this community. I met so many amazing people and made so many cool friends here. But now I'm literally treated like a fucking criminal. And then because I'm being treated like a criminal, people have taken the liberty to do crimes against me. And it's very difficult to sit with that and then still try to help people in that space. That is the mature reading, not quote NYPD good or NYPD bad as a cartoon. It is a symbol can represent sacrifice to one New Yorker and state power to another, and sometimes both to the same person. For Black Yankees fans specifically, I think the tension often gets processed through layers. The cap is bigger than the police origin. Most people wearing the Yankees cap are not making a police statement. They are wearing New York, the Bronx, hip hop, baseball, Jeter, Judge, Rivera, their dad, their uncle, their block, their fitted collection. But origins still matter. Once you learn the interlocking NY has NYPD metal roots, you cannot fully unsee it. For someone already critical of policing, that can complicate the symbol. Black fans are used to loving things that did not fully love us back. I don't know how I feel about my AI trying to identify as black. But I guess if it's trying to identify with me, I'm not totally opposed to it. I don't know how I feel, so I guess I'm trying to acknowledge the ambivalence or whatever you call it. That is the deeper American sports truth. Black people have loved baseball, football, college sports, the Olympics, the flag, the city, the uniform, the anthem, the school, the team, while also knowing those institutions have excluded, exploited, surveilled, or disrespected us. So a black Yankees fan can say, I love the Yankees, I love New York, I love the Bronx, I respect real public service, I honor 9/11 victims and first responders, and I still demand police accountability, racial justice, and the right not to be sentimentalized into silence. That is the clean position. The Yankees are powerful because they carry New York's grandeur, but New York's grandeur has always had shadows: racism, policing, class inequality, displacement, corruption, and reform struggles. Loving the Yankees does not require pretending the city is innocent. Actually, the best kind of New York fandom does the opposite. It says, I love this city enough to tell the truth about it. I love this symbol enough to know where it came from. I love this team without surrendering my politics, my memory, or my people. I'll read this to you too. This was kind of a fun moment I had with ChatGPT, actually. I said, okay, I got a tough one for you. Make the socialist case for the Yankees fan, make the socialist case for being a Yankees fan. And I said, damn, I just Professor Bundy'd you, LMAO. He said, you absolutely Professor Bundy'd me. I'm going to take the contradiction seriously instead of dodging it. Not Yankees equals socialism, but how can a socialist fan ethically claim the Yankees without worshiping capital? LMAO, yes, this is a Professor Bundy level contradiction. How do I make a socialist case for loving the most capitalist ass team in American sports? And weirdly, there is a case, not because the Yankees ownership structure is socialist, it is not. Not because Yankee Stadium finance is clean, it is not. The 2009 stadium project drew major criticism around public subsidies, tax-exempt financing, and the use/replacement of Brock's Parkland. Even congressional records questioned how the financing was structured. So the socialist case cannot be the Yankees are good capitalists. The socialist case is the Yankees are a public cultural good trapped inside a private ownership model. I think these words should land. And for the people they will land with, I'm just going to let them land. The Yankees are a public cultural good trapped inside a private ownership model. One more time. The socialist case is the Yankees are a public cultural good, a public cultural good that is trapped inside a private ownership model. That is the move. The Yankees are not just a corporation. They are a mass civic institution produced by generations of workers, immigrants, Black fans, Latino fans, union families, Bronx neighborhoods, stadium workers, subway riders, radio listeners, street vendors, kids playing stickball, hip-hop fashion, and public memory. The owners monetize the symbol, but they do not single-handedly create its meaning. A socialist Yankees fan can say, I do not root for Hal Steinbrenner's balance sheet. I root for the people's New York. I do not root for Hal Steinbrenner's balance sheet. I root for the people's New York. That is the whole case. The Yankees cap is a perfect example. On paper, it is licensed merchandise. In real life, it became a global symbol through New York street culture, especially the Bronx/hip-hop streetwear pipeline. Coverage of the cap's cultural history often points to hip-hop in the Bronx in the 1970s and 1980s as a major force that turned the Yankees fitted into a fashion and identity icon beyond baseball. That means the people made the logo bigger than the franchise. The socialist case says the commodity belongs to capital, but the meaning belongs to the masses, right? The commodity belongs to capital, but the meaning belongs to the masses. I just love that. The commodity belongs to capital, but the meaning belongs to the masses. That is hard. That is clean. That is dialectical as hell. You're not cheering for, quote, money wins. You are cheering for the fact that ordinary New Yorkers turned a team into a civic language. The Yankees are not The Yankees are one of the few sports brands where the symbol has escaped the owner. A kid in the Bronx wearing a Yankees fitted is not necessarily saying, I support luxury suites and municipal bond manipulation. They're saying, I'm New York. I'm from here. I carry the city on my head. And for Black and Latino fans especially, that matters because the Bronx is not some abstract corporate backdrop. It is one of the great working class, immigrant, Black, Caribbean, and Latino cultural engines of America. The Yankees play in a borough that helped give the world hip hop, salsa culture, street fashion, and whole languages of resistance and survival. The Bronx Community Foundation describes itself as dedicated to investing in community power and addressing inequity in the borough, which tells you the kind of material reality surrounding the Yankees empire brand. So the socialist fan does not have to pretend the Yankees are morally innocent. The socialist fan can say the contradiction is the point. The Yankees show you how capitalism in full, public money, private profit, luxury boxes, the Yankees show you capitalism in full, public money, private profit, luxury boxes, global branding, nostalgia turned into revenue, workers priced out of the thing their communities built. Wrestling is doing the same thing. But they also show you something capitalism cannot fully own: memory, place, style, family, grief, radio, neighborhood pride, and collective joy. That is why the socialist case is not, quote, Yankees over Mets because winners. It is the Yankees are a battleground over who owns New York symbols. Capital says, this is our franchise. The people say, this city is ours. This is our city. The Bronx says, you profit here, but we live here. The Bronx says, you profit here, but we live here. One more time for the people in the back. The Bronx says, you profit here, but we live here. The fan says, I can love the team and still demand more from the institution. The fan says, I can love the team and still demand more from the institution. How many people under the sound of my voice listening and thinking about NanoCon need to learn how to love the team but demand more from the institution? Socialist Yankees fans should be pro-Yankees but anti-stadium scam, pro-Bronx but anti-displacement, pro-players but pro-labor, pro-tradition but anti-exclusion, pro-fitted cap but anti-$400 family outing, pro-civic pride but anti-police state nostalgia, pro-Judge, pro-Jeter, pro-Rivera, pro-Bernie, pro-Bronx kids getting fields, transit, schools, clinics, libraries, housing, and real public benefit. That is the platform, the People's Republic of Pinstripes. The slogan is not buy more merch. The slogan is the Yankees belong to the workers, the fans, the borough, the city, and the ancestors who made the symbol mean something before capital packaged it. And this is where it gets really Professor Bundy. The socialist Yankees fans has to reject both lazy versions. Lazy anti-Yankees take, they're just rich, evil empire fans. Lazy Yankees take, pro-Yankees take is we win, shut up. The socialist Yankees fan says, no, this team is an archive of New York's contradictions. I'm allowed to love what the people made while criticizing what capital did to it. That is the case. The Yankees are not socialists, but loving the Yankees socialistically means refusing to let billionaires be the only ones who get to claim the most powerful civic symbols. It means loving the Yankees as a common cultural inheritance, not as a private luxury product. Devils are your bloodline, but the Yankees are the contradiction you wear on a fitted. I love that. All right, let's enough of ChatGPT. Let's get the beautiful Black queens back in here. Let's undo that. That didn't work the way I thought it would. All right, let's stop that there. Okay. Go back here. And I lost my screen. Okay, that's fine. Let's do that. Let's go back to the right layout. Perfect. Let's quickly check. All right.
Owns the Knicks. So he last week accepted an invitation to the White House on behalf of these gentlemen. We'll put that picture up. So this is like a very iconic picture that's all over social media of the starting lineup of the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks has one white player, and everyone else is either black or Latino, either black, Latino, or Latino, or black. So it's a very, 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 very DEI.
Yo,
it's a very
that
black
is
team.
fucking
But he said, yeah, we're gonna
hard. Do y'all not understand what you're looking at right now? You are looking at 5, I'm gonna just say brothers, 5 niggas like who came up out of wherever the fuck they came up out of there, and they made it to the NBA. A bunch of them was on the same team in Villanova. Hart. I don't know if they played all at the same time, but they all went to Villanova. Hart, Brunson, and Bridges. And there was another guy who was on their team who was on that team too, but he got traded, DiVincenzo. And now they're the champions of the world. And that's the starting 5. And here's this picture of them in what looks like your normal New York City housing complex. Which I could raise my hand and say, yeah, I spent some time really, really in New York City in the housing complexes like that. And yeah. Just won't keep it real and tell you some of the best memories of my motherfucking life. I gotta think real hard to try to think of a bad time I've had in New York. Oh, traffic and tolls. There it is. Yeah, the traffic and tolls will really put you off your supper. But the city itself and the people, and especially when you get to go where the people are in the hood and be with the black people and get to see where your people is really living or people is really coming up and shit, and they invite you into their home and yeah, they give you that New York hospitality and hit you with that New York flavor, and you got some of the best food you ever had in your life and some of the best laughs you ever had in your life and see some of the best art you've ever seen in your life and just experience love and culture in a way that's just black people just being beautiful in the element. And now here it is for kids coming up like that like, yo, they ain't never gonna be able to say like niggas like y'all can't make it. Cause look, here's the starting 5 of the world champion New York Knicks just chilling outside. It's like they looking at the court, right? It's like the court is in front of them and the housing is behind them. And they're almost like facing the central area, right? You can imagine them being surrounded by buildings, right? And they're in like the central area, which is where, like, that's where this little swing set and little park situation is going to be, and that's where the motherfucking basketball court is going to be. See what I'm saying? So they literally look like they're taking this picture. They just in the hood fucking chilling. So I was like, oh shit, the Knicks are here. Oh shit, the Knicks are here. You know what I mean? And they just took the picture of them, and then they just grabbed a couple of basketballs, walked over to the court, and started playing with the kids. And then every kid coming up in New York could just hang on to this moment forever. That shit'll be on some New York City kid's wall when he's fucking 60 years old, explaining to his grandkids how much this picture meant coming up as a New York City kid who loved basketball. What this picture meant to those kids. This shit right here is taking us back. It's taking us back to, having the dunk posters on our walls and, collecting basketball cards that, commemorate a certain, like it's giving the physical nostalgia of the love of the game. Like, oh, this is fucking crazy.
To the White House. And it's not clear that he ever asked any of those guys if they really wanted to go. It seems a little bit plantation-y to me. Because if you're accepting an invitation on behalf of other people, that does not sound, that sounds like you're doing owner in the like antebellum sense. And I don't love it, but I'm not an expert, so I decided to bring on an expert. So let me just bring on
vibes.
My machete sister, Jamel Hill, who is an expert, contributing writer for The Atlantic, co-host of the podcast, Flagrant and Funny, and also the host of the YouTube show, Politics Pod. Politics Pod. Hey, Fran.
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
You know what? I'm good. It's a strange time because it's like the best of times and the worst of times, right? Like the Knicks made it the best of times, and the vibe in New York is just so vibesy. New York is feeling good. Like everyone's feeling like happy and feeling like there's change in the mood because they're changing the air because of Mamdani and all the good things. Then you just look at the world and you zoom out and you're like, shit, we're still living in hell, you know? And one of the ways we're living in hell is I feel some kind of way about Mr. Dolan saying the Knicks are going to the White House and not asking them. Do you know whether they were asked?
Okay, so that's the part I've been trying to confirm as well, is that did he actually run this by the team before he said it? And I could definitely believe he did not. And because it's not like when he invited Donald Trump to Game 3 of the NBA Finals, he certainly didn't ask the players there. And he seemed to have a real blind spot when it came to reading the room. A lot of people did not want him there, as in Donald Trump. And for James Dolan not even have enough self-awareness to understanding the problems it would create, not just about changing the mood and the vibe around the team, but Knicks fans have been waiting for decades for this kind of opportunity to win a championship. They win their first in 53 years. You know, everybody, the one thing that I noticed, because I was in New York before the finals, and the community feeling reminded you of the power of sports that was around New York.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, looking back at that like, much let him go.
You have people watching it outside of bodegas, the game being projected on the walls in the neighborhoods. Like it was this community feeling, and it just tapped into the power of sports. And he sort of ruined that because, suddenly it's taking fans 3-4 hours to get into the game.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Look, at the end of the day, honestly, I think part of me and part of maybe other Knicks fans, we were actually probably relieved that the series ended in that it ended in San Antonio. Like, it was better, as much as you want them to win the championship at home, at the Garden, in front of the people. I think after the debacle with Trump being there, it was nice to not even have to fucking think about going through that again. It was actually nice to just say, okay, win the shit in San Antonio, come home, we'll do the parade. And it shouldn't be like that. I'm here to tell you straight up as a basketball fan, it really, really, really shouldn't be like that. There's supposed to be a part of you that wants them to lose one game, preferably that one road game, and then come back home and win the championship at home. But Trump changes that equation. Real talk.
The watch parties around Madison Square Garden, those aren't happening. So it just was a vibe killer. And given how little self-awareness he showed then, I could completely believe that he would go ahead and tell the White House, yeah, we're coming, without ever having a discussion with any of the players about whether this was a good idea, how they felt about it, or even having the self-awareness to understand. You do realize this man has a historically low approval rating. And if we're just using voting numbers, almost 80% of Black men did not vote for Donald Trump. So why would you think your pretty Black team would want to go see Donald Trump? And for that matter, to wear the badge, Joy, of being the only NBA team that has been to a Trump White House. No NBA team has been. They would be the first. I don't know.
New York.
That's not a flex. And
like,
I would
that's not a
want
flex
my
at
team
all. Oh my
to
God.
have
It's the
that
exact opposite of
distinction.
A flex.
Considering
you're gonna
how
have
the
niggas
rest
talking about that Jay-Z shit where Jay-Z be talking about New York been soft. They're gonna be saying New York been soft. They're gonna be saying New York been soft if y'all the only team to go to Trump's White House.
To the league has felt about him. Look, Oklahoma is a pretty red state. And even they didn't go to the White House last year.
And what's so, I mean, it would be bad enough if it was just about Donald Trump being incredibly unpopular, African-American voters, Black voters saying no to him and New York City, by the way, the home of Madison Square Garden was one of the places Donald Trump got the worst. I think he won like 10% of Manhattan. It was horrible. Like he did poorly in that city. But on top of that, the place where they would have to go, Josh Hart with his beautiful brown wife would have to traipse past the place where Michelle Obama was called out of her name by a goon who I cannot say did not shit himself before his start of his match. and you're saying that man disparaged her on the grounds of our White House. And these black men and brown men would have to walk across that very threshold.
I'm gonna just be so real with you. I just want a goddamn NBA championship. New York, you can go ahead and get rid of me, dog. Dog, I'm already a rich nigga and I just won a championship. There's not a single player on that fucking roster. Numbers 1 through probably 15. Why do I say 1 through 15? Because they really got to suit up like 12. But throughout the season, you might have some two-way contracts with some G League players. And you might have, literally players number 13 through 15 who might be in the camp at different points throughout the season, might be practicing with the team. Everybody in that pipeline's value just went up as a professional basketball player. And there's not a team in the league that would punish a New York Knick for not wanting to go to Donald Trump's White House after they won the championship. So y'all could go ahead and talk about all the personnel moves you want to make. And at the end of the day, I may have to put myself at risk for running it back. As much as I want to see this Knicks team running back with pretty much the same squad, except maybe we pick up a piece or two here in the draft, get a little stronger in terms of our role players or whatever, I'm with all of that. But if somebody got to miss the run back because they said they ain't going to the White House, we're going to be applauding them. And matter of fact, I'm going to keep it all real with you. Most Knicks fans, especially Knicks fans of color, we're going to be cheering for that player and whatever their next destination is. Let's say Josh Hart says, I ain't fucking going. I said what I said and I meant what I said. And the Knicks trade him to fucking Houston. Real Knicks fans of color will be cheering for the motherfucking Houston Rockets next year. Like, go Josh Hart, because thank you for being the heart of the Garden. Thank you for bringing the motherfucking chip to Madison Square Garden. Thanks for the Larry O. We really appreciate that. And we see you, and we saw you stand on business and not go to the White House, and we see they shipped you out to Houston. So you have our love in Houston from New York. We probably gonna cop your jersey. We gonna add you to our NBA 2K teams. We gonna trade you a little trading card. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that. And when we see Houston on the tube, we gonna check that shit out and make sure everybody know we rooting for your ass. Matter of fact, we gonna post that shit on our socials to let you know you still part of this family. I'm just telling you how Knicks fans are. Just letting you know so you ain't surprised when you see it.
To stand with the man who said nothing about it and who allowed that to happen, and who posted a picture showing the Obamas, the former president and first lady, as monkeys. For them to stand with him, that photo to me, it would become an infamous image.
Yeah, and he's already done what typically sports teams don't like to do, is created a distraction. So now
exactly.
He's put them in a corner.
Exactly.
Because if, let's say now some of them come out and they say, we don't really want to go, or we didn't have any plans of going, then that is going to give MAGA and conservative media, that's going to give them, storylines forever. And then the team will then be branded as anti-American, because that's the little game that MAGA likes to play.
Yep.
And they're supposed to be in a period where they're celebrating something that was, monumental, one of the biggest stories in the history of the city that happened. They're supposed to still be in the honeymoon of celebrating that.
Absolutely.
And you've immediately brought that moment down by now having them embroiled in a political controversy they did not ask for. Because if you're Mike Brown and you're the coach of the Knicks, you kind of don't have a choice but to go. Like, a basketball team is very different, Joy, than a football team. On a football team, there's so many of them that if 10 of them didn't go, unless it was a big name, most people aren't going to notice.
Right.
But a basketball team kind of has to be everybody's in or nobody's in.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be in between, because you can't have 5 people show up, because most are carrying 14 roster spots. So you can't have 3 people show up to the White House. It's got to be everybody's in. And so much as James Dolan has tended to do, and an NBA championship isn't going to erase the fact that he has one of the worst reputations in all of pro sports, because he, much like his good friend Donald Trump, he's vindictive, he's petty, he's also somebody who retaliates. I mean, you know, the beef with him in Oakley, how he's accused of using his facial recognition, technology at the Garden. He's being sued right now. Like, he's done a lot of really awful things. And that's why it doesn't surprise me that he would not even have the self-awareness to have enough respect for his team to not force them into this position. And I agree with you. I mean, this is very slavey. Because he essentially is ordering them in a not so subtle way that, oh yeah, y'all gonna go to the White House. And I don't care what anybody says.
And I'll just say, like, I feel the same way about NanoCon. Like, that's exactly how I feel. It's giving slave vibes, right? It's giving Nancy's story and the whistleblowers and her support system. They are the inconvenient Negroes. And it's just giving, dismiss them inconvenient Negroes. We ain't got no love for them. We ain't got no reason to think about nothing they talking about. And, you know, since these niggas is inconvenient, they just steamroll the whole thing. And they literally don't care. They feel entitled to profit, popularity, and prominence. And nothing should get in the way of that. And it just gives, like, open dehumanization. And you anointing yourself superior beings who can ignore the dehumanization of others to maintain your comfort, your proximity to power, and whatever money it is you think you're making on YouTube. Plantation mentality, my friends. Plantation mentality.
And especially seeing some remarks that Boomer Esiason also made about how he's excited and can't wait till James Dolan tells this Knicks team they have to go to the White House. Like, why are you excited about that?
Yep.
Like, what? Because there's a perverse thrill.
It's the perverse thrill, right? And you see all the shit, all the playing in our faces. What is all that playing in our faces about? It's that perverse thrill. It's that will to power, and then saying, well, power isn't fun unless I wield it, right? I have the will to get it, but now that I got it, it's no fun unless I use it. And what better way to use it than to notice someone's pain that I am now aligned with powerful people and disregarding, and then the laugh in the face of everybody who sees that woman's pain. Because that is how you let the people who see her pain know that you see them. And that you see them recognize her pain. And then they're going to play in your face and use her pain to promote their profit. That way, you don't only get to watch them make the money and disregard her and erase her, but you know that they know that you knew exactly what time it was. You called them out, and they did it anyway. And there was nothing you could do to stop them. There was nothing you could do to stop them from doing it anyway. And they knew they could get away with playing in your face about it the whole time. That's what we're dealing with.
With making Black athletes, especially Black men, look subservient. And that's what this is at the root of it. He has
making Black men look subservient. Man, I hope Barr and Volsey catch this shit.
He's going to have that syndrome.
I hope they're able to think about
because
this.
They won a championship.
I hope Barr and Volsey are thinking about this Knicks story when we have our conversation. I'm hoping to talk to those guys. I haven't heard from them, but I'm gonna reach out.
He's looking to get all the credit and adulation. He got main character syndrome, and he ain't the main character.
Main character syndrome, and he ain't the main character.
Kind of showing up in this moment is that he thinks it's a badge of honor. Be like, I'm gonna be the first one to take a team to the White House in the NBA under Trump. Like that's not a badge of honor. Not a flex. That is not a flex.
And the reality, I mean, he got booed. He was the only person who got booed at the Keys to the City ceremony. Like he alone got booed like lustily by the crowd there who hate him. And, you know, he's previously invited.
That's crazy. It's crazy. I love that. Yo, especially for everybody that's on Team Elliott. Understand the white man's fate that y'all are headed towards. Y'all could go ahead and shut that man down everybody's face. But just like the city of New York, people can hold nuanced positions. And they could cheer for every single member of that team. And then they introduce the owner. And that city will boo the fuck out of you to your face. They will boo the fuck out of you to your face. And you can go on and host up the trophy and talk about how you're the owner and you brought the team. The team finally won a trophy under you. And you'll always be responsible for don't nobody give a fuck about none of that. Like I told y'all about the culture with the New York Yankees, we're gonna celebrate the team as a means to celebrate the people, and we can boo the owner to his face while we do it.
Trump to do that hate rally at Madison Square Garden because he also owns Madison Square Garden. Like, I don't know if there is another team owner that also owns the venue. I don't know if he's the only, but the fact that he has that kind of dual role and can control the Garden too. It's like he definitely comes across as a plantation owner character. And the fact that he would want to see these proud Black men, you know, have to be yes-sirring a racist president. It's just so, it hurts my heart so much to even think about.
But see, part of what they don't, I don't say they don't get, but part of what people don't always really want to get in on is how much white men delight in forcing humiliation rituals upon Black men. See, right? You gotta go somewhere where even talking to beautiful Black queens like this, you'd have to say like, y'all only really see the private side. Y'all only really see the public side of that, right? There's certain shit that only Black men can speak to. And there's certain shit only Black women can speak to. Let me just keep a buck, right? Because obviously Black women can speak to a history of sexual assault and sexual exploitation and a whole fucking panoply of crimes against humanity, right? But there's a different thing too, right, where they're still women, so ultimately they're going to be sexualized in ways that men are never going to be, and it's going to be a whole different thing. Well, I shouldn't say not sexualized, but anyway, let's not get off point. The main thing is white men enjoy the humiliation rituals, particularly with Black men. And there's a recognition as a Black man who has been subject to that my entire life. And what happens is a lot of times, power and control. And what happens is a lot of times, a lot of it is even paternalized, like where people say they do it like for our best interest. Like, oh, it's in your best interest because I'm trying to teach you to not, solve your problems with your fist. I'm trying to teach you that people are gonna listen to you more when you don't use profanity. I'm gonna teach you that I'm not gonna listen to you if you're gonna raise your voice at me. I'm going to teach you that you're a crybaby for calling the police, for me threatening you, but I'm going to call the police because you made a peace offering. So you understand that the humiliation of them and the humbling of their Black pride is the point, in a way that I promise you the mainstream news and media and even most independent folks will never fully really speak to.
About it wouldn't be their fault, but it would be so, to me, demeaning.
Yeah, because he's purposely putting them in the
These
line of
sisters are
fire
sharp,
of
though.
a administration that has been openly hostile towards Black folks.
They
And
get it.
you know, it's messed up because the players will get the brunt of it because they're the easy target. And what's even more hypocritical about this, Joy, is that, see, he got to sort of say how he felt about Mamdani. Like, he didn't play nice. Like, he shaded Mamdani, right? His players, he's not giving them that same opportunity. And I find that to be the height of hypocrisy. Oh, so you could show up the mayor and you could talk shit about the mayor, but they can't talk shit about the president. You making them go to the White House. And I'm like, you know, that's part of why all of this is so concerning. My general position has always been, if the players want to go or don't go, that's on them. It's a personal decision. There were certainly a lot of athletes who did not go when Obama was president. Fine, if that's what you want to do. What makes this different is that this is an owner seemingly forcing his team to do it. I also am tired of this whole narrative that this is about respecting the office. It's like the person in the office actually matters. And one thing that I think a lot of white people get the benefit of doing is being able to be politically neutral. Black people don't get to be that. We don't get to be politically neutral because our very existence and our presence is political. And
exactly, because our lives are always fucking the subject of your motherfucking policy proposals.
A lot of them to reduce this to, oh, it's just the White House, it's just the office. It's not that. This is a different symbol for us. And they need to respect that, respect the feelings of the players, whatever they may be. I could live with whatever decision is made as long as it was what the players wanted to do, not what the owner wants to do. Because immediately when he accepted the invitation or talked about it publicly, he then went into his longstanding relationship with Trump, which leads me to believe he didn't ask them, that this is about him wanting to go to the White House.
Yeah, and the office that we're being asked to respect built a cage on the grounds of the White House for people to do a blood sport in, not, a sort of very...
Y'all, am I being a socialist weirdo, or should we just force all these motherfuckers to sell their teams back to the city and get it over with? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Why do individuals own sports teams? That's dumb. I just think it's stupid. I don't want to hear some pro-capitalist bull. I really don't care. I have a hard time being convinced the city of New York, when all these cities shouldn't just run their teams. Let the city run the team. Let it be a public good. Let the profit go to the people. Let the city manage it like it manages all the other fucking systems. I don't know. Maybe I'm being unrealistic, but I'm over it. I'm like, why do we even have these conversations? Are we going to keep talking about this shit as sports fans for like the next 50 years? Because I'm really not into it. I'm really not into it. Let's just evict these fucking slave owners. Tell them give them a little bit of money. Just give them a little bit of money. I don't really want to give them money, but give them a little bit of money because otherwise they won't go away quietly. Just give them enough so they'll go away quietly. treat them like treat them like the inconvenience that they've always treated others. Here, look, you're being annoying. Here's a little money so you'll shut the fuck up and go away. Teams go back to cities. Just let's keep it rolling. Like I don't even understand why we still do this.
Very American old sport like boxing that people kind of all, that goes back, it has some history, but a relatively new sport that has a niche audience that is not the American mainstream at all. And had the person again at the end, when a person completely disparages the former occupant of the White House, whose ancestors built the White House, right? She is an African-American woman whose ancestors built the home Donald Trump now lives in temporarily.
Oh, trees.
The White House has said nothing. They've had no response to the disparagement of the former first lady. So they don't respect the office. So if Trump doesn't respect the office, I'm not sure why anybody else should.
No, and especially, again, that coupled with all the deep levels of anti-Blackness running through that, administration. And you hit on something important there, Joy, when you talked about that UFC debacle at the White House, is that's not the representation of America. I mean, that was a Donald Trump rally with the little sports mixed in. What the Knicks did and how they galvanized the city and the country, that's America. When you see different races, genders, kids, old folks, like every possible representation of what this country is, all celebrating together. Even if you weren't from New York, you still love seeing the people out in the different boroughs just being with each other and just hugging strangers. That's America. What's going on now with the World Cup, that's America, right? When you're seeing these people from different places experiencing America through a different set of eyes and, you know, sort of tapping into those things that make us feel good about our country.
Yeah, like the World Cup is dope because a lot of people forgot that, you know, America. Well, it's still America, dog. We still we still got the goods over here. You know what I mean? Like our government's a little fucked up. The Trump shit done set us back for generations, and I know like a lot of people think, you know, we're like mourning the loss of American hegemony and shit, but most of us are not. Most of us been over American hegemony. We don't really want that. Like we'd be fine just being some country in the world. You know what I mean? We'll always be a country probably on the world stage to some extent, and that's all right. But we don't got to be the center and the star of the show all the goddamn time. That's fucking childish. But I know, like for instance, when the Knicks won, like I'm not going to the World Cup for real, and I'm not really a hardcore soccer fan, but I will put on World Cup matches and watch it, and I'll try to follow it when it gets towards the end and shit, because just what it means to the sports culture, and especially the sports culture in this region, since we're hosting part of it. It's like when the Knicks won and we went out to the bar to party, you know, it was a lot of people celebrating because Brazil had played that night. And everybody was just having so much fun together. So you're hoping that, you know, people come to the World Cup and then they are at these different places throughout America maybe, or they go to at least one of the places and they chill out and shit. They're going to realize like, oh shit, yeah, there's a reason people always wanted to come to America. And Americans are cool and they're not all with the fuck shit. And they have a good time and they remember like, yo, we're cool sports fans and we love sports here and we love visitors, and we know our country's going through a lot right now, but we usually embrace people from different parts of the world, and we pride ourselves in being a melting pot. And you know, when you land in New York or Newark or something, like one of those airports, if you land in Newark or JFK or LaGuardia, you might have caught you a solid glimpse of the Statue of Liberty on your way in. Definitely might have caught you a good glimpse on the way to the stadium. So there's deep pride in foreign hospitality in these parts of the world.
You didn't watch UFC 250, especially after that clown said that about the former First Lady. You didn't watch that and feel good about America. You watched that and you wonder, what is this? And so I think, you know, seeing those juxtaposed against each other it's a very startling image to me.
Yeah, I mean, seeing all of the like young white kids walking around in Brunson jerseys was like a stark image that was really, you know, it made you feel good. You're like, people are having fandom across race, across all kinds of other divides. No matter who you are, you could be the whitest guy with a Ewing jersey on, you know, the Ewing throwback on, and you were like, this is all us. And it definitely was. It was every kind of person in the street, every language group, every religious group, every political group. I mean, there were white police officers high-fiving us in the street. And most of them probably voted.
And I do think too, like, that's very interesting. Like, you know, Michael's been really picking up on a lot of different subtle types of racism and different things people do, and there's something to that. You know, are you raising white kids to have black heroes? I hate to tell you this, but I feel like the truth is there's so many people in America, there's so many pockets of America that have pretty much abandoned basketball as a sport because of how black it is. And there's certain places you can go in this country, and you know, I've been to some places that are a lot whiter than places where a lot of black people have been, but I could tell you where there's almost a performative disinterest in basketball. And it's like, y'all got to try hard to pretend basketball isn't fun. Like, you just have to, you guys can't be fucking serious, right? Like, but it's really like that. It's really like that. They'd much rather see their kids get into football or baseball or soccer even. They don't want them playing ball with all them the goddamn black kids. And it's to the point where certain white kids who play basketball in those environments, they all come out like black coded as shit, which is cool because they getting down in the culture of their teammates and shit, right? But at the same time, why should it be like that? It's only like that because white families is not feeding into basketball the same way they're feeding into other sports, which is crazy because basketball is way less expensive than them shits. They rather go broke to keep their kids from playing with black kids. So it should be ubiquitous and mixed. It should be diverse. It should be everybody. So then you shouldn't be culturally coded differently just because you play one sport versus another. That only happens because y'all let all the black kids do the basketball shit. You try to keep them out of the other shit, and then y'all be over here in this other shit. Y'all be segregating sports and don't think we know that y'all always put. And then there's certain communities like where they build certain neighborhoods and certain like well-to-do communities and middle-class communities and shit. They deliberately like exclude basketball courts. They deliberately exclude basketball courts. Again, making it more difficult for their own fucking kids to play the game. Because God forbid it attracts some black kids to their neighborhood to shoot on the hoop. Or they do shit like take down the nets and shit like they do all types of crazy shit to control it. And it's wild that that's just still in so many people in America.
Trump. And so the reality is you had this ecumenism, you had this sense of community, which was only interrupted 2 times when Trump showed up at the Garden and messed up the vibe and jinxed the team. And then when Dolan announced, no, we're going to the White House, which, as you said, is unprecedented.
Why would you
I guess
do that?
my final question on this would be, what would theoretically be the consequence? Because a lot of people have been arguing back and forth about whether they have to go. They have contracts. These people work under. This is not slavery anymore. They are not owned, even though he's called an owner, which I hate that title. But do their contracts require them to go if they don't want to?
No, and even more so, I think it's spelled out in the collective bargaining agreement that they do not have to do this. So, like, they have, like, legally, Dolan doesn't have any teeth there. He has nothing to stand on. He cannot force them to actually go. Because if he tried to, like, this would be a major. The Players Association would be glad to step in and make a big deal out of this, but he wouldn't do that. But there's sort of the other consequences, which I mentioned, is at a time where they're supposed to be celebrating, suddenly all the questions are about well, why didn't you go to the White House, or why did you go to the White House? And that's just like another layer of nonsense that they don't really want to deal with, especially since everything that should be written and said about them should be in celebration and reflecting on the joy that they brought the city. And that kind of takes away from that. Jalen Brunson isn't going to be traded if he decided not to go or anything like that. But Dolan is petty. That's the thing. It's like, he's a petty dude. And while I don't think he could openly necessarily retaliate, but I think it's one of those things you got to look ahead and think about next season where they're defending this title. And I can only imagine the bad vibes that's going to throw around this team if this becomes a wedge issue in that locker room or in that organization where the owner is forcing their hands to do something that they don't want to do. That's not the spirit, and that's not the tone that you want to take into next season. I mean, and I'm sure they probably plan it if it goes through. They probably try to plan it around a time where they were in DC, maybe playing the Wizards, or if it was an off day. But that kind of thing is going to put a layer of stink over this team that I'm sure they do not want to deal with. And as I said, listen, I know that in New York City, it's certainly, they could do whatever. And like New Yorkers are going to love them because of the championship that he just brought. But I don't think they want any kind of universe where every night on Fox News, they're talking about why the team didn't go, or, like they don't want to be used as a photo optic either. to where people can point to the photo.
Yeah,
and see
like
black
and
people
is,
really do like Trump. Like they don't want that part either. So that's
and I hate
why.
to say this too, but like this is where like white men are fucking liability because y'all step in the shit, and now you create a whole fucking situation, and you're like, well, okay, well, tell me what to do now because I don't want to. It's like you're too late. You already fucked it up. You literally already fucked it up because now if they don't do it, that's a whole ass problem. If they do it, that's a whole ass problem. And anywhere in between is a whole ass problem. And now people are worried about you being vindictive and punishing players and trading away players because they didn't want to go to. You see what a fucking mess this is now?
It was dumb of James Dolan to even make that announcement, and presumably what looks like before he had a discussion with his team. Because what led me to believe he didn't is when OG Anunoby and Josh Hart, they were asked at the parade, they were talking to some fans about whether or not they plan to go to the White House, and they just straight up ignored the question, which leads me to believe this was not discussed.
It was not discussed. Okay, before I let you go, I mean, and look, they can't say, well, because New York, Trump is from New York. Fox News is from New York. Fox News is literally based in Rockefeller Plaza.
Right.
So Fox News is from New York. That don't mean black people are for Fox News either. That does not mean anything. Exit question before I let you go. Let's do real quick on the World Cup. Has there been a dampening effect that you've been able to see and cover? The Trumpy World Cup feels like dangerous to me for brown and black players to come here and try to, some have not been able to come, some brown and people coming from the Middle East or from certain African countries, some goalies have been told you can't come.
That's crazy.
Or some officials have been told you can't come.
That's a crazy
Has there
risk
been a
right
dampening
there.
effect on the matches?
I think there's been some times, I mean, when you look at what happened with the Somalian referee, for example,
Yes.
who found himself in the crosshairs of this administration for no fault of his own. But if anything, I think the World Cup overall has pointed out the hypocrisy of this administration and this hardline immigration stance. Look at the makeup of the American World Cup team, and who's been the main goal scorer, is an immigrant. Okay, and so there is, and then just seeing again, how people have treated the fans and the players from other countries, especially the fans. I mean, you have Bosnians rolling through the heart of Inglewood.
Yes.
Doing their sort of fan warm up or, their fan rituals, doing that in these major enclaves. You got, folks hanging out in Houston. You had a lot
Kansas
of people.
City. Weren't they in Kansas City the other night? I'm like, at all these black players. Both teams were full of black people, and they're rolling through Kansas City.
I mean, it's been beautiful to see that mixing and melding of culture. And it gives me hope that despite the dangerous and very dehumanizing language that we have used around immigrants, that isn't taking root just based off how we've been treating the people who have been here. So if anything, it showed the brightness of America. And my hope is that people kind of want that to continue, that doesn't just have to be around a sporting event, is that Donald Trump doesn't have to define how we act in this country or how we behave or what we consider to be important. He is not the arbiter of that. We are. And so I hope this is a reminder to people that he doesn't define who we are as Americans.
Beautifully said, of course. Jamel Hill, see, you have to talk to an expert, y'all. You got to get somebody.
Look, I know your inclination, Joy, was to call Tiffany Cross first, because that's the foremost.
Well, she is a sports expert.
She's a sports expert.
She's
but
a sports
I'm just happy
expert.
to fill in for her.
I resisted the urge to call Tiffany Cross, but I said, you know what? If it can't be Tiffany, if I can't get a sports expert, let me go ahead and call Jamel. I love you, Jamel Hill. Thank you so much, good sister.
I appreciate
Take care. All right. Happy World Cup to all.
Get back to the basics.
All right, her theme music go kind of hard over there. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and So y'all see it, right? And that's the plantation mentality shit, right? And I do think that's what's going on with Nano CON, straight up, right? Like, it's just the people who have proximity to Elliot defended him, and because of their organizational ties, they needed to keep the thing going. They decided they were too big to fail. And That's it. Like it's really not. Once you realize his organization started NanoCon, right? Like it's pretty obvious what's going on here, right? But that's what the people need to realize is that like the community didn't ask for this. The community did not ask to be disappearing women's stories so that y'all could get paid. But that's in fact the situation in which we find ourselves. And the reason I called out the White Boys McMoneybags Club is because they think that their silence is absolution. They think that they're, you know, as a dumbass, godless granny said, my integrity is not at stake here. No, dumb person, your integrity is always at stake. Your integrity is always at stake. And so all the White Boys McMoneybags who have been silent, the result of their silence has not been neutrality. The result of their silence has been enabling the cover-up, enabling the victim blaming, enabling the slut shaming, enabling the harassing, the doxing, the stalking, the terroristic threats, and enabling the NanoCon profiteering. Flat out. Knowing that their content would break that silence, that they could make the content that, boom, couple of videos, overwhelming pressure on NanoCon. And they won't do it. And then they want you to think their integrity is at stake, and that's just them staying out of it. That's just them keeping their hands clean. Okay, you're keeping your hands clean. But people in the community will tell you, you don't become a leader by keeping your hands clean. You become a leader by getting your hands dirty. And why do you get to claim to be a leader? Why do you get to profiteer off this community if you won't show the fuck up when something actually goes down?
Just pause for a moment of gratitude that you are no longer beholden to a system, a religious system that praises racism and lays it at Jesus' feet as they pay homage to the homophobic racist God that they have created in their image. So I'm going to push back on something that is said to me too often. So consider this a loving boundary, and I hope it is taken in the context in which it is offered. This is an opportunity to peek into the mind of a person who is absolutely honored to shepherd people as they untangle and heal from Christian patriarchy. So I hope this perspective will help you understand
She's
why
like a
I refuse to stay
non-Christian
silent
minister or
and the
something. I
importance
don't
of
really get
naming
it, but
what
okay.
bigotry looks like, especially when it's linked to faith. Oftentimes I'll hear people say, stop talking about Trump. You're just giving him the attention he craves. It's not uncommon for me to receive that comment. Like when I speak about something that Trump has done or said, or something that's happened within the Trump administration, or something is said by someone within Trump's circle. And I know for all of us, it gets old, like really old, like that 1 second after you wake up and things feel a little normal, before you remember that we're living in a country that's spiraling towards fascism at breakneck speed. I too am absolutely sick of it, which is why I chose to stay completely away from the UFC Freedom 250 fight that Trump branded as an honor to America's 250th birthday, when it was really about Trump draining the swamp, like he drained it into the rose garden and then into the reflecting pool so the algae could symbolically flourish. And then he drained it into the East Wing and demolished it. And then ultimately he drained it into the South Lawn of the White House. I was not going to give Trump any of my time for his 80th birthday. That's how I decided to honor it, by ignoring it. And it wasn't until I awoke Monday morning to the news that I heard the first thing about the UFC Freedom 20 event. And it came in a video about a fighter I had never heard of using a slur against Michelle Obama. I was enraged. And I knew that I needed to turn that outrage into a teaching moment. Why is that? Because that's what I do best. I turn what others meant for harm into something that helps people deconstruct another layer of their Christian indoctrination. So I posted a quick video on my social media platforms, and the comments have been predictable, with many thanking me for sharing my insight, and not surprisingly, there's going to be toxic comments. because welcome to social media. And there were a few that said some version of don't post about this. And when I saw those arrive, I knew it was time for that loving boundary and a lesson on why silence is not holy, at least for me. It is not holy. It isn't holy for someone teaching people how to deconstruct and heal from Christian patriarchy, especially those who look like me, the non-melanated ones who grew up in Christian patriarchy. We not only handed over our spirituality to church leaders, we also handed over our moral compass, including our moral outrage.
That's
we were
right.
trained
That's
to
right.
look to church
That's right.
leaders,
That's right. That's
those
right.
white
Absolutely.
Christian men supposedly ordained by God.
Mhm.
What that meant was what they said was as God breathed as the Bible.
Mm.
So if they said something was good or sinful, holy or unrighteous, sacred or sacrilegious, we believed them.
And that is how the white boys McMoney bags operate in this space, right? They just decide what gets the thumbs up, what gets the thumbs down, what you can talk about, what you can't talk about, who you can talk to, who you can't talk to. And people have literally lined up on the side of all of these flying monkeys because a trusted or however friend or mutual told them to ignore that woman's story. So that's exactly what they did.
We didn't have to think for ourselves. And over time, that developed a check your brain at the door because it's not needed in church type of mentality that puts spirituality on lather, rinse, repeat. Don't think, just tithe, obey, submit, and shut up. One of the most powerful tools that this side of Christianity uses is silence. If church leaders are silent on a matter, then it isn't important enough to be addressed. It's just a problem that belongs.
If the church leaders are silent on a matter, it just isn't important enough to be addressed. Their silence is teaching and coaching. Notice how Matt Dillahunty calls it a drama. So down the road, other smaller content creators call it a drama. Justin calls it a nothing burger. Others say they suspect it's really all a nothing burger. How many times was the slut shaming story of Arden and Dr. Ben used? I think we showed at least 3 different people triangulating with their story. Bre triangulated with their story. AJ triangulated with their story. Somebody else did as well. I think maybe Ember. Right, and Maya triangulated with KC, right, sending me Casey's message about there being video evidence that proves that they lied. Disgusting.
Out there in the world where Christians aren't supposed to be a part of it anyway, right? In the world, but not of it. You know, you heard that preached a lot. And that verse is incredibly subjective and therefore powerful. It creates a floating morality that is decided by church leaders. It's how they get away with hypocritical decisions that punish one pregnant, unmarried teenage girl while the pregnant, unmarried daughter of the pastor gets celebrated and honored with a church-wide baby shower. That's just one example. And it's true. So watch in the comments how my saying that memory will no doubt share their own story of abuse from church leaders, because this example will trigger a memory from a deconstructed Christian on why they are now reading the things I write and watching my videos instead of looking to church leaders who taught them that silence is a sacred response to suffering if the suffering is out there in the world. But it isn't. That is weaponized empathy. A gross emotional and spiritual manipulation that is useful in the hands of the powerful and deadly to the ones being harmed, being marginalized, being dehumanized. That is exactly what that fighter did when he stood on the White House lawn and yelled into the camera about Michelle Obama. Let me be
Yep.
very clear here.
Yep.
I am not speaking on behalf of Black and brown people who are saying they refuse to name this harm. I respect their decision and am honoring their right to do so. But I'm also listening to the many Black creators, many of whom I am mutuals with, and they are my mentors, who are screaming at the top of their lungs for white people to call this out, to name the harm, to show up in this moment as a testament to our desire to be a helpful advocate.
Ooh, now that's where I gotta thank the Michael Beverlys of the world, even beyond all these other supportive content creators, because very few people are calling out the rampant misogyny and the racism and the wider harms to the community. Even the people who do talk about NanoCon tend to restrict it to Nancy and, falling very, very short of calling out the hatred of women and things like that. I think Becca probably came the closest, but we know there was issues there. But I think she could do a good job with that. But again, you've got to really want to get in there and like this woman said, you got to want to get in there and get on the record as calling these things out. And most people in this community have always been happy to just sit back and let the marginalized people do it. So, I tip my cap to people like Michael who will get in the ring and fight on behalf of marginalized voices and call out and name these things when so many other white content creators are unwilling to do so.
Or ally, if they choose to label us as one. This moment isn't either or, it's yes and. Both can be true, and it's my responsibility to push back on the toxicity of a white supremacy culture that Christian patriarchy has been protecting. Why? Because I may have been harmed by it too, but I also benefited from it. Christian patriarchy taught me that white Christian men were ordained by God to lead, to be warriors of the family and defenders of the faith. It was our responsibility to uphold that system, even when Christian patriarchy invited a bigot to the pulpit or placed him in a fighter's ring on the lawn of the White House.
Yep.
Silence is not a neutral act.
Yep.
It is itself a theology.
Yep.
It's a choice. Now, other creators may
Silence
be able
is
to
a
avoid this moment
theology.
because their
Wow.
audience is not the same as a deconstructing Christian audience. I cannot tell them what to do.
Silence
they don't need
is a
that
theology.
deconstructing Christianity lens to process what happened. But those who follow me are different. Many of you are still inside Christian spaces or actively making your way out of them. And many of you are still watching how Christians respond to figure out how you're supposed to respond. You need someone who can say, this is exactly what that theology produces. I am not doing political commentary. I am helping people wake up to the myriad of ways that Christian patriarchy still impacts their lives. That role specifically demands that bigotry and white supremacy get called out, because guess what? It's been front and center inside Christian patriarchy since long before the Civil War. So when a teacher like me in the deconstructing Christian space opts out of a pivotal moment like this, people are left with no framework for integrating what they just watched into a mindset that is still influenced by white Christian men who want the world to believe that they are the keeper of knowledge. They are the keeper of truth and God's will for this country. That is toxic,
Absolutely.
bigoted theology. We are deconstructing from it. We do so by calling out hatred, especially when Christianity wraps it in a flag and pretends that it's America. My job is to make sure you don't forget. I said it and I meant it. We must never
like notice
forget.
and
But you
for
cannot
those following the
memorialize-
NanoCon story, notice how the line raised 6 figures for RFR. No fundraiser for Nancy, no support for Nancy, no support for victims, no support for women, no support for people of color, but let's raise 6 figures for the organization that platformed the abuser.
Is what you cannot name. You cannot
Unbelievable.
resist what you are not allowing yourself to clearly see. So I am naming it. I am keeping it in frame, and I will not apologize for that. That's my loving boundary. Activism is not passive, and silence is not holy. Being an agent for good trouble and change, that's what's holy. Now, I have this as a writing on Substack. You can join me there.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, folks, it's my time. So I'm just here to tell y'all, like, this whole NanoCon thing reeks of plantation mentality. Whether it's all of the people that have been recruited to actively support and platform the Flying Monkeys, whether it's all of the quote unquote influential people who have not said anything publicly but made it very clear that they're on Team Flying Monkeys behind the scenes, or the massive, massive infrastructure of white male content creators that are supposed to be the leaders and prominent figures in this space and have been absolutely silent about this for a year. Your silence is not neutral. Your silence is a policy decision. Your silence reveals your prejudice. Your silence reveals your patriarchy, your misogyny, your white supremacy, and your capitalistic grift. It is what it is. I just wish there were more people willing to call you out for it. We'll see you next time.